There we go. Now we're live.
Now we are.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to Roundtable.
And yes, you see the two of us.
There will be somebody here soon.
Yes, this is a placekeeper area.
Yeah.
If I knew how to add some effects into a live broadcast, I'd have like a little green outline or something there.
Yeah, that's good.
We're going to be joined by Damian Luna today. He's on his way. He's just running a little bit late.
That's going to be fun.
It really.
I'm looking forward to him getting here.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk to him about.
Yeah. We're doing our thing, making sure that other people can join us.
Yes.
So that's why we're looking at our.
we look so millennial. Yeah, we're hardly paying attention. We're just on our phones, and yeah, got to make sure that the sound is up. I'm not making that mistake ever again. So I always check to make sure. Here we are live. Are we there? Hey,
am I not seeing us?
You know, the great thing about doing the YouTube live is that the delay on it is so slight.
Oh, that's good.
I love that part.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm involved with another podcast that my wife and I do. It's a more of a Christian-based podcast, and we will not do it live because she is so fearful of saying something that's not correct. And then like it happened this last weekend, we did it like 3 times because she said something. She goes, I don't like the way I came across because I don't like the way I said that because I don't know if it'd be. I'm like, okay, we'll do it again. And then the next time she goes, oh, I shouldn't have mentioned that. I'm like, oh, here we go. So we will not go live.
It's a different thing. There are aspects of it that are cool. There are aspects of it that are daunting.
Yeah.
What I've always liked is it'll wake you up.
It helps me. Like one time I was practicing and I could not get, I was one of those times where you're practicing and you're just like, okay, I did a verse and a chorus, I'm good. Or I can't, I messed up that chord, no big deal. And I'm sitting there going, this is not good. This is not really doing me well. So I went live, or I thought I went live. And I actually forgot to hit another button that actually made me go live, but I thought I was live and I practiced great.
Oh yeah.
So because I thought people could be watching me, so even though I wasn't actually live, but it was just funny.
Well, you've got this little adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Because you're being scrutinized a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's like you don't want people to hear you go, "Oh, I messed that up really bad," but I'm just going to skip it, or you can't do that.
Yeah. So it'll works out though. Yeah, as we're getting our final stuff up. Personally, when I first started trying to do podcasting, I was doing it pre-recorded, and it was the worst thing in the world. It was horrible. Live puts you on edge on such a point that you've got to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's like you're suddenly hyper aware.
Yeah, for some people, recording it is better. Like my wife, she can do much better recording. If it was live, she would not be able to. She would be so worried about what she was saying, she would just keep, messing it up. So, but for me, it's like when I'm singing, it's better. If when I'm practicing, it's like there's going to be those times where I just got to force myself to go live.
Oh, absolutely.
That way I can because it was. I remember what was it? A couple months ago. There was a message from Morgan from Vintage Wines that on a Wednesday she said, if anybody wants to just come and play, just like a rehearsal or practice, session, come and play. I'll give you a couple of drinks. And I was like, oh, that would be perfect.
Oh yeah. So
I went out there, played for 2 hours. It was an awesome practice session. Because at home, it's like, I don't want to sing too loud because I know my wife's on the phone. And, I'm just, it's just, you're too relaxed. And I went over there and it was perfect. There were like 8 people the entire time I was there, but still it forced me to focus really well. And I was like, oh, I needed that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that.
And it's part of what we'll get into when Damian gets here. I had my recital. This past week.
Yes.
BJ came out and supported me. That was really cool.
We got to talk about that when he gets here because there's a lot to talk about with that. A lot.
And the neat thing for me is sitting there and playing in front of a bunch of people who it was a very different crowd.
Yeah.
And it changes your outlook.
Yes.
So
it made me want to go home and practice. It did, because it was like, wow, look at the differing levels.
Yeah.
But you saw what was really great was the the look on everybody's faces when they were doing it. Some were nervous
Hmm.
and they were scared. We talked to one girl that was scared.
Oh yeah, when it started.
And then as
But
soon as she started, she was fine. I can't,
well, even before we started, we were talking to her, and I don't know about you, I was doing it on purpose,
yeah,
in such a way that, yeah, by the time she got up there, Damian commented, says, I know that you're nervous, and she says, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm ready."
that's good. Yeah, that's
um,
right. She was really,
yeah, when you start addressing some of that stuff, it makes a
yeah.
big difference.
And there's differing reasons that people, some of them just want to play, some of them want to do something with
Hmm.
it.
Oh yeah,
It depends.
there's a lot of different reasons, and it's yeah. So there's a lot of different approaches,
Yeah, because when
which is cool.
I started playing simply so that I could sing, because I was singing with production shows and then in bands running. But then I thought, if
Hmm.
I play, then I can sing whenever I want. And then because the idea was to start. I wanted to entertain. I wanted to get up in front of people so bad. It was
Right.
like that addiction was starting to call me. And so that's, the only reason I play is so that I can sing. I had a couple of times where, guys said, well, we're kind of thinking about getting a singer. And I'm like, I'm only playing so that I can sing. If you guys want somebody to just sing and not play, I might be, willing to do that,
Hmm.
and then, it just depends. It's all about, I'm a singer that also plays guitar.
Right.
Some of these, that was a father and son
Hmm.
that it seemed like that's just something that they decided to do together. And
Right.
I thought that was really cool for them to do that.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those things. And it's just, everybody had a different reason. I think I didn't get to talk to everybody, but it was just neat to see the looks on their faces after they were done.
Oh yeah.
They were all excited and, oh, I got it. I did it. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
It's a scary thing when you've never done it before, but
Yeah.
man, there's something about stepping out there like that, and then realizing that people are not the sort of jerks that are, unfortunately, we live in the age of American Idol, and everybody still remembers Simon Cowell.
Yeah, everybody thinks they're Simon Cowell.
There are not that many Simon Cowells in the
No.
world, especially that go
No.
out and listen to anybody playing.
Yeah.
There's a. Is this accurate? There's a lot more Paula Abduls,
Yeah.
but without the delusional craziness.
Yeah.
Although there is some of that too, depending on who you're around. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's just fun. It's all about fun. And
Oh
there's
yeah.
differing reasons, or differing goals and different level, but the basics of it all is fun.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And
Throat will not
I'm
clear up.
I'm actually hijacking. Normally you would play a song early on with the show, and I'm hijacking that away from you today.
Go ahead.
Because yeah, I have a brand new song that I've written, and
Okay.
I played it a couple times. You got to hear it when Leon Garner came on the show.
Yes.
I played it after the fact, so nobody got to hear it on the air because it was still very raw,
Yeah.
and there was stuff I wasn't sure about. I want to kind of get a feel, and
Yeah.
you guys gave me some real good feedback, which was really nice.
That'll be cool.
I played it at one open mic, is all.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
everybody liked it.
And then a recital. Yeah,
Everybody
I was
liked it.
surprised at the reaction.
Yeah.
It's the most fun song I've written so far. And I was talking to a friend of mine. I went up to see J.R. Sandoval played on Sunday at Rio Grande Winery, which he rocked it as always.
Yeah.
He's always so much fun. I just love sitting there. Pardon me. Watching him play, not only his covers, but he's a pretty prolific writer. He's got enough songs now that he's looking at recording an album very shortly.
That's cool.
With the latest one that he did, Ghosts, that gives him enough to put together a full album. So that's going to be cool. That's not an easy thing to do, to actually make that sort of a number. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he comes up with, and I've heard all the songs anyway. He's got some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's he's basically like a hot rod guy in a lot of ways. We all are. When it comes to writing music, you never feel like you're done, and you've got to force yourself to get to that done period.
I had a guy that I was in a band with, and we would write a lot of music, but nothing was ever finished because to him it was never done. And I was like, dude, it's done. No, it's not done. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
A year and we couldn't finish. One song that he finally said, okay, this one's done. I'm like, thank God. Yeah. Can we do 10 more? We had so many songs started and going, and we just could not finish them.
Well, you've got to reach a point where you decide,
Yeah.
this is what it is. And with this one, I actually wrote it's a 2-verse song with a bridge and a chorus, and I was like feeling really really uncomfortable. It's like I need another verse, but then I counted the whole thing out, and it's like, well, it's just a little over 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's about 15 seconds beyond the average for a country song. And quite frankly, I don't think I'm really necessarily adding anything with another verse. I don't need closure on everything I write. So I wanted to share this with y'all, and I know JR is good. Well, I think he may be watching now, in fact.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I tagged him in this so that he wanted to hear this, and I kind of wanted to hear it and see what he thinks of it, because there's people that it means a lot to me what they think, and of course, BJ, you're one of those. In case you couldn't tell.
Oh, I appreciate that. I don't know why, but appreciate that. No, I totally get that, and I was impressed when you first played. I was like, wow.
It's kind of fun.
It is. If I could write music, it probably would be for me.
Who knows? We may have to get together and sit down and just play one of these days, because that's always fun.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some of the playing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stretch out my boundaries as I go. But yeah, here's Roulette Radio. I don't miss you. That's what I tell my friends. They don't believe me, but they help me to pretend. And I can pull it off, 'cause we all play along. Somebody gambles and turns that station on. Roulette Radio, give that dial a spin. Will the music get me through, or break my heart again? Roulette Radio, will I sing along, or hear a melody that reminds me that you're gone? Roulette Radio, when I'm driving, it helps me clear my mind. The rhythm of the highway allows me to unwind. But when I turn it on, I always take a chance that I might be reminded of our failed romance. Roulette Radio, give that dial a spin. Will the music get me through, or break my heart again? Roulette Radio, will I sing along, or hear a melody that reminds me that you're gone? Roulette Radio, don't play Texas Tornado or back in baby's arms. I can't handle true love's ways or that Marty Stewart song. I'll be better. I'll listen to them all, and I won't have to change that dial, and I won't have to fall. Roulette radio, give that dial a spin. Will the music get me through or break my heart again? Roulette radio, will I sing along or hear a melody that reminds me that you're gone? Roulette radio, roulette radio, roulette radio, roulette radio.
That's awesome.
So
That is a great tune.
isn't it? It's so much fun.
That's cool.
All my stuff is such downer sort of things. And I know the words are not, oh,
Yeah.
everything's great and happy,
Yeah,
but it's kind of up and bouncy and fun. And
that's cool.
I enjoy playing that one. I have fun with it.
That's
so,
cool. That's a good one.
Yeah. Feel like maybe I'm getting a little bit out of where I started from that
Yeah.
little hole that,
There's a mental state can
Mhm.
really change everything. Can
Oh,
really
yeah.
guide you and put, I
And-
went through a really, really dark time a couple of years ago, and it affected me in everything I did.
Yeah.
I did not have as much fun playing. My work as far as nails were concerned were very, very just basic.
Mhm.
So yeah, that it can really do that. I mean, I keep going back to Alanis Morissette. She took her depression and her anger and made it into a career.
Yeah.
And then everybody said, well, she got happy and then she wasn't as good.
Well, there's that.
I mean, there's different reasons but I really think that, your mental states can really, it depends on how you handle it
Oh, yeah.
and what you
Absolutely.
do from there. But that's great, man. That's great.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that I got to play that at the recital, and to see a bunch of people who don't know me, don't care
Yeah.
about me particularly, and to see their reactions, it's kind of cool.
That was really cool. Yeah.
It's sort of like going out of town and going to a different open mic, and
Yeah.
seeing how people react. That
Yeah.
they've got no personal reason to be nice to you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, that's my new favorite.
That's cool.
I stopped writing as I got close to the recital because I started getting nervous as all get out. And yeah, Damian insisted on us doing a pentatonic scale to begin with, and I suck at those.
Yeah.
I worked really hard so I didn't come across completely
Yeah.
stupid.
That was kind of cool to see everybody do that. You see differing,
Mhm.
because it's not that it's that hard. Because when you look at the pentatonic scale, it's kind of simplified, but playing it is awkward.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't feel or sound right to me.
Yeah.
I come from a different type of musical background, and we did chromatic scales.
Yeah.
Those sound like real scales. These sound odd,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I won't say fake scales, but that's a fairly good word for it, I think. But yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's fun. It was fun. It really was. I want Damian to get here so we could talk more about it. I don't want to talk too much about it until
Yeah.
he gets here because he's on his way.
Well, we got other stuff to talk about,
Yeah, we
including
do.
you were finishing up your live performances for the year.
Yeah. I was at Salud
Mhm.
Friday night and Don Felix on Saturday. Again, Don Felix had to be postponed for an hour because of something that was going on
Ugh.
in Mesilla Park. But
Yeah.
it was that I had so much fun on
Mhm.
Saturday because there was just an atmosphere.
It's kind of
People
laid
walking,
back up there
yeah.
in that little patio area.
People walking by, you
Mhm.
could see the plaza and people walking with a lot of people with their dogs.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I actually had a guy walk in as soon as they opened. I was to start, and this guy walked in, and I couldn't start until I went over and said hi to his dog because it was such a neat little pug. It was a full black pug, and I wanted to go say hi to him first. So
Mhm.
I did that first. Then I started playing, and it was really cool because I turned up a little bit so that people can hear that something was going on, and then some people started trickling in, and it was. I just had so much fun that day.
Oh yeah.
Ended up getting a nail clip. Okay, here's what's funny.
I hear a door opening.
Good. There he is.
Hey
Come on
man,
in.
we're easy
So
to find.
while he's getting, yeah,
We got a place for you and everything.
have a seat.
This is my radio, my broadcast room.
Yes,
Nice.
and we are
Doing good, man.
good. By the way, we're live already.
Yeah.
So you're on.
Oh, damn, where's the camera?
Right behind you. We're getting a good shot of your back right now.
Go on and sit down. There you go.
Awesome, man.
All right.
So while he's getting set up, I'll tell you, I got it because I was up playing, and the two ladies sat down in the table that was right in front of me, and of course I'm never off the job, so I noticed, wow, her nails need help.
God bless.
And I finish up, and Jamie O'Hara was going on right after me. So they're setting up. Jamie goes over and he's talking to people and stuff. And then I hear the lady say, "Oh, my nails are messed up," because he liked the color. And she goes, "Oh, don't look at these. They really need help." And I walked over. I go, "I noticed. Here's my card. I'm seeing her Friday."
Cool.
So I'm never off the job. I'm always noticing those things. All right. So we're starting almost over.
Yeah.
He's Randy Lynch. I'm BJ Ramirez. Today,
We've got Damian Luna joining us. Local musician, guitar teacher, extraordinaire. Let's throw that in there.
No, I don't know about that. No, not at all.
Yeah, we've got some words about that
Yeah.
after
Oh, my goodness.
after seeing this recital. Oh, hello, pretty.
Oh, yeah. My little parlor guitar.
that is so cool.
I like that.
Cool, huh? Yeah. Well, it's a good for traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
it's a
is
lot
Real
smaller.
small, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I bought it off of one of my guitar students, actually.
So let's get into that. We recently saw you. Let's start with that because recently saw you at you held a recital for your students,
Right.
and I got to tell you, it was a great time.
Cool, yeah.
It was a great time. We were talking about how Randy got up and played his original, and you've been teaching for how long?
I mean, do we count COVID year?
I don't know. I don't think we should because you shut everything down for about
Right.
half a year, about 6 months.
Exactly, yeah. Starting
So-
back up.
So that
Well, you
cuts
started
into it a
when?
bit.
When did you start?
So the year before COVID, right? So
Mhm.
2019.
now
that's
you've
when,
been playing around town and professionally, basically, for how long?
Oh,
You didn't know you were going to do math today.
Yeah, I was like, it's too early for this, guys. Come on, where's the tequila? Come on. Yeah,
Be careful.
In the other room,
Yeah.
he will bring it out.
I'm not afraid of it. No, let me see. So before I actually started giving classes, right?
Mhm.
Probably roughly like 3 years prior to that. 3
Okay.
years and just playing around. But I've been
Yeah.
playing like mariachi since I was 16 years old.
Oh wow!
I've been performing like, violin, guitar, guitarrón, vihuela. But it's just me as a soloist performing like a different
Mhm.
set list, right? I guess, I would say 3 years before I started giving lessons, which was 3 years
Shoot.
ago
Wow.
or 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. But it's been a while. Yeah, I was so it's just, and then I've kind of stopped doing the solo thing,
Mhm.
because I started up a band, Con Sal de
Mhm.
Limon, and then
And then you start up several bands.
Yeah.
and then now I'm just in a bunch of bands, right now. So I'm just having fun, jamming out
Yeah.
with other people,
That's
learning some new music,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
trying to do that thing. So, but
'Cause
I've always been playing.
The first time I saw you was I got a Facebook message from Morgan at an Vintage Wines,
Mhm.
and she said she wanted to have, it was the day before we were supposed to go back into a second quarantine, and she wanted to do like an open mic. So I said, well, I have a sound system. I'll go set up and I'll kind of, get everything going. You showed up with Kalista,
Uh-huh.
and the two of you play some cumbia, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
This was fun because I'm from Southern California. I'm from a Latin family. I spent 7 years in Missouri.
Oh wow.
There
yeah.
wasn't a decent mariachi band
There's-
in the
yeah.
entire state.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not much of that going on.
I
over
tell
there.
the story about I went to hear a guitar player one time. There's very few of those going on, and there was this guy, and he says, "I'm going to do a Spanish song for you," and he started singing in Spanish, and I'm sitting there going, I don't speak a lot of Spanish, but I'm listening to the words, going, this doesn't sound right. And I look over, and there was another guy who spoke Spanish, and he's doing this. He's shaking his hand, smiling. He was saying things like, "You're ugly. Your mama dresses you funny," but all in Spanish. And I actually heard a lady behind me going, "Oh my gosh, that was so pretty." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And the two of us look at this guitar player, and he's like, "Yeah, I know."
It's the
Uh-huh.
Did
language
on
of
purpose.
love, man.
It was like he's saying all kinds of mean, awful stuff, but doing it in Spanish, and everybody thought it was nice.
Oh yeah.
language of love, man. You
Yeah.
can say anything in
Yeah.
Spanish.
So to come out here, we were here less than 2 weeks, and we went to a place, and they had a mariachi band come out. And Kathy looks at me, my wife Kathy looks at me and goes, "I'm gonna like living here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We've got
So-
some really good local
Yeah.
mariachis.
Mhm.
One group that actually started out as a bunch of students at Oñate
Yeah.
High School at one point. So yeah, it's cool
Yeah.
the flavor out here.
So now getting back to, you do a lot of different things. You're in like several different bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favorite type of music to do?
Whoa.
Do you have one?
No.
He's hitting you with the hard stuff right off
Yeah, I
the
know,
bat.
like,
I make them.
Dang. Okay. No, I don't. Right now. Okay. Right now. I mean, I play the electric guitar, and I'm really learning. I've been learning like the blues style
Oh, okay.
for maybe the past like couple of years, and so playing in a heavy blues band, listening to my buddy Jonathan Minus play guitar, like he's just amazing, mind blowing, right? And so I'm just like trying to pick up by just watching him, by listening, by just being there in his presence and seeing what his fingers can do, and that just gives me ideas. And so I don't know, just the fact that I'm like constantly learning right now, that's it's that's been the most fun out of everything.
Yeah.
So but either way, like I mean, I've been telling Randy that I'm learning some like country stuff right now, which
Yeah.
hopefully soon I'll
I'm sorry.
be playing that solo. And I'm having a lot of fun with that because I'm just adding some like blues licks to it a little
Yeah.
bit,
I'm like,
just
really?
something different. Yeah. So, but anything as long as it's new, brand new, and I could like mess around with it, then yeah, I have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
So do you find yourself like, oh, I'll be into this for a little while, and then all of a sudden you get bored with it and you move on and just kind of evolve into different styles and stuff? It's like, I did that too long. I'm going to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like developing my own style, like putting it all together, But either way, like, God, for me to get bored of something, I have to be playing it for like over 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I did mariachi probably, I don't know, since 16
Oh, man.
all the way until like about 25, 26 years old when I just stopped and I was like, all right, like I can't do it anymore. Like, yeah, I was like, I'm done. I've played all these songs over and over and over, and
Right.
everything just sounds the same to me, like tonally, and I'm just like, I'm not learning, it's and so that was, yeah, like I said, 10 years. So yeah, I'd have to be doing it for a long time
Yeah.
to just be over it. Like I can't do it anymore.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what brought on, so with all that was going on, and you had, different bands and different, what brought you to teaching?
Money. Yeah, I was like,
I love it.
I need to make some money. So
Yeah.
I was actually, because I had a bunch of different jobs, man. I worked any job that would hire me, and I've done that. I even sold women's shoes at Dillard's. Like,
Oh, no way.
yeah, I did all kinds of weird stuff. And then the last like really good job I had was at a nonprofit over at CAA, and I worked there for like 3 years straight. And then after that, I was just contracted to do translations and stuff. So it was like kind of stretched out to 4 years.
Yeah.
And during the last year, I was still kind of doing translations, but I started working at Mesilla Valley Pro Music.
Oh, okay.
And so, being there and tuning up the guitars and selling amplifiers and stuff like that, that's when I was just like, I just want to do music stuff all day, whether it's teaching or selling this stuff. And
Right.
so I stopped doing the translations, and I worked at Mesilla. I think I worked there for, I would say like 5 months, and then they didn't want to work on my schedule, so I quit. I was like, screw that. So after I quit, I was basically poor for for like 5 months or something like that, and I just Actually, I got the idea off the internet, like, oh, learn how to teach music, how to be a guitar teacher, stuff like that. And actually, I studied education. At the
Mhm.
university, I studied Spanish education. I studied a little bit of music education, and so I was like, well, why don't I do it? I have a pretty good background of music
Mhm.
theory, guitar, music
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
general, and so I was just like, well, I'll do beginning courses for like anybody at any level, any age, and I'll
Mhm.
teach them chords, teach them rhythms, but teach them chords, rhythms, and scales, and then just kind of go at it a different route than like those music books.
Yeah.
Because a
Mhm.
lot of music teachers, guitar teachers, they'll just get the book and they'll tell a student, buy this
Yep.
book and we'll just go page by page. And I'm like, that's boring.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What's the point of having a teacher if you're just like, okay, I could just read the book?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I write my own music and or arrangements that cater to the student and try to teach him a little bit of chords with melody because with guitar, it's the way
Mhm.
I learned was just like just play this chord over and over, and then now
Yeah.
switch to G, and you're like, oh god, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to follow the singer, and I'm like, well, can I have some more structure? Can I have
Yeah.
like something else? And then it was just boring to just do that all day, and I would practice that for hours and hours to get my chords down. But yeah, I figured someone's gonna be paying me to teach them to do that. I got to give them something more.
And that leads me to the biggest thing I got
We were
from
talking
your
about this. Yeah.
this is the biggest thing I got from your recital is that I did lessons when I was 8 years old, and that's why I quit
Mhm.
because it was like next page, next
It's
page,
so
next page.
soul
Yeah,
sucking
Yeah,
normally.
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And I remember
it
when I
is.
was 21, I decided to pick up a guitar again, and I grabbed the book because I remembered when so I saw the same book when I was 21
Oh my
that
gosh.
Yeah.
I got. I was like, oh my gosh, I had this when I was 8, and the guy goes, yeah, that's a standard, and I'm like, oh my god. And then so I kind of skipped through. I went through the book in like 3 hours. I was a security guard at the time, and I didn't have anything to do, so I sat there with my guitar.
Yeah.
And so I learned the scale, the basic scale through that. And I was like, well, what else? And then I got to the end and there was that chord chart.
Oh yeah.
And then I started playing
Mhm.
chords. That was cool. What I loved about it is that you obviously don't use that book because I noticed that
No.
every student had their own almost style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had their own
Approach.
approach and flair. And it wasn't like, okay, you could tell that that you're their teacher because that's the way they played.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
That is what I noticed, that everybody did something different.
Y-
Everybody had something different about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and it yeah, and that takes time, right? Like
Mhm.
over if you're with me longer than 6 months, then okay, I'll start developing like, okay, let's go
Mhm.
over this route, these
Yeah.
kinds of songs
Mhm.
and and it was really cool. Even though I knew that was gonna happen, but to see it like there, like people are, in front of an audience and there's a
Mhm.
stage and everything, like it was even surprising to me because even like one kid, he busted out with his electric guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been with me for about a year now, and he up until recently, about 3 months ago, brought in this electric guitar, and he's like, "Can I play this?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I love the electric guitar.
Yeah,
Let's do
man.
it. Let's just plug it in. I have an amp there." And he's like,
Mhm.
"Okay." So I just taught him little like the differences between
Mhm.
and he was using a nylon string.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So I was like, okay, we have to go over some things here.
yeah, we
Nylon
gotta
string is this is electric guitar. It's a little
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And yeah, right away he loved it. He doesn't even play with the pick. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
I
noticed that.
prefer,
Mhm.
I don't
yeah.
think anybody did. I didn't
Some,
know
yeah,
there was
some
like
people,
I
There
yeah.
were a
thought there was
few.
most of them did not use a pick, and I'm
I
sitting there going, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, which is funny because that's all I remember. I tell everybody, grab your pig, like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this with the
Yeah.
pig, with the pig. But yeah, that's true. I don't know how it
Yeah,
turned out that way. It
because
was
I don't
just
know if you ever seen Truman Provencio.
mhm.
The guy, he does not use a pick. He
Yeah.
plays a
No.
7 string. He rocks out, no
Yeah.
pick. I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
I don't know how to use one. I'm like, okay.
And he's hitting those strongs as
Yeah.
heavy as anybody using a
Oh
pick, which
Yeah.
yeah,
is it's like,
yeah.
So,
what's going on with
but
this
Oh,
that
dude?
goes along the line of that's the way he plays.
Yeah.
So, and
oh
it
yeah.
works.
Yeah, that guy rips it, man.
Yeah.
I'm still like, how do you do it without a pick?
I
Like,
know.
Yeah.
but he still does it. He plays Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
uh,
he starts playing country and he starts doing his rock
yeah,
out thing. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, you're
Yeah.
at the wrong gig.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
does it, man. He
but
does
one
it
one
all.
of the things that we were talking about
Yeah.
is with most of these sort of things where you have a bunch of students of one
Yeah.
teacher get together, they'll be doing different songs,
Mhm.
but the sound is pretty
Yeah.
much the same.
It's all the same.
And this came across more like a variety show sort of thing because
Mhm.
you had a bunch of people at different levels. You had and everybody was doing their own thing, their own stuff or whatever was they wanted to do. And it's actually in case you guys didn't know it, as I've never mentioned this before, This is my guitar teacher,
Yeah.
Damian.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right. You're my student.
yeah, you forgot that part,
I
huh?
did, yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked familiar,
the-
but you couldn't
All the
place
time
me.
because you're just like you're doing your thing now. I'm like,
We-
he's not my student.
We always tell the story about the first time he got up to play at open mic, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that was hard enough for him to get up the first time because he
Yeah.
was a little nervous, but then he's got you sitting there with
Yeah.
your recording of him.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
because my wife even looked over and went, "Who's that?" I said, "That's his guitar teacher." She goes, "Ooh."
Yeah.
No, your guitar teacher's not there to like make it harder on you, make it worse, like to critique you. He's there to be like, you're doing it. You're finally there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yes. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do, just to like
Yeah.
get my students to a stage.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, and then we'll like, you know, this past 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got so much stuff going on. Last week, I got them to some of them. It was their
Yeah.
very first stage. For
Yes.
Others, it was
You
their
had what?
second, third time.
You had one that had been your student for what, 3 weeks?
Yeah. The
And
first one
he
that
was the
performed.
first one you
Yeah.
had get up,
Yeah.
which, man, that's balls right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah. And,
Well,
and he was so cool because he,
Mhm.
I don't know, he performs in other stuff, but with the group,
Yeah.
not as a solo, like band. And he's in this other like rondalla or something like that. It's like a bunch of guitars, violins, and it's really cool, all strings.
Cool.
And so he's like, I'm used to performing. It's not, I feel like I'm a natural performer. But he's like, I'm by myself, and I was like, okay. And we got him in the back room, and I was like, check it out. Like, this is cool because you're gonna set the tone,
Mhm.
and you don't know it. You'll after you play, then you'll start realizing like, oh, okay. But you're gonna be the first one. Right now, everyone's super excited. They don't know what to expect. So you can mess up horribly, and they're gonna still be proud of you. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
did awesome," or "You're gonna do
Yeah.
great," and they're gonna be like, "That was awesome. You still did great."
Yeah. And he didn't
And
mess
so-
up horribly.
No,
You could. There were some mistakes that he made, and you could
Yeah.
tell when he'd make a
Yeah.
mistake. And I was like, "Holy crap! Is this kid new to all this?" Because he never stopped.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, he
never
kept
let
going,
it
he kept
yeah, freak
going.
him out.
Yeah.
He just
Oh, and then what my favorite part was I told him, I was like, since you're opening up, you're the opening act, like, there's so much like nervousness going around, all this tension. Just say like a quick joke just to kind of before you play. And I was like, say, oh, I'm wearing this ugly sweater, or this is my favorite sweater, or
Yes.
something. And that's
And he
exactly what he
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "I hope you like my ugly sweater" or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, "Oh, it's cool." And
Everybody
Mhm.
laughed.
but it helped him
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Because everybody, that was just so different from any recital I've ever seen, regardless of whether it was. I remember going to a dance recital, and you can
Yeah.
tell everybody had the same style, the same structure, and it
Mhm.
was like, wow, okay,
Yeah, just a repeat of like this. okay,
exactly.
this,
And you can
yes.
tell there was no real, they were just 1, 2, 3, 4. They're making sure they do it their way, and you didn't see a lot of the joy and the fun in it. And then
Yeah.
but in
Yeah.
that show. So if you're looking for somebody to help you, this is the guy.
Oh God, yes.
This is the guy.
I talked to a bunch of different people about learning guitar when I was first finally sitting there saying, you know what, I'm on my own. I've got the time, and it's either this or sit there and drink myself into oblivion.
Yeah.
So I went and talked to some people, and I basically told them, this is what I want to learn. I want to focus on the rhythm guitar, on the strumming. I don't care so much about, I don't want to become the next Eddie Van Halen for several reasons. Number one, never mind.
Yeah.
But that's not what I want to do. I wanted to focus on this. And everyone else says, yeah, we can get to that in about a year. And I went and talked to you. Adrian Batista had been on me. He says, yeah, you can check this guy out. And he was sending me links to your Facebook
Oh,
posts.
cool.
And so I finally talked to you, and I told you what I wanted. And he says, okay. I was like,
I
seriously?
was like, well, yeah, I mean that's how I learned. So I was like, well, that's easier.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier, but I just had to learn like what style of music, like what are you
Right.
trying to do?
And this was not a style of music you were real comfortable with anyway.
Yeah, I'm barely learning it right now. So
Country. Why?
Yeah. Well, I'm from Texas.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I'm from Texas, yeah. So I mean, I grew up with
Wow.
Tex-Mex, country, Mexican,
Yes.
all that stuff.
it all kinda-
I was raised in Southern California, and I performed in a cabaret show, and I had this one lady that after that show was done, she comes up to me and says, I need you. I need a male voice for this production show I'm doing. And she goes, and I said, okay, sure. And she goes, well, there's one issue. Now, what's that? She goes, it's country. And I'm like, honey, because she knew. And she goes, please. And so she talked me into doing it. And she goes, 3 months, give me 3 months. And then I'll be able to, I was like, a year later, I
Mhm.
went, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's sort of like not liking
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts and having to eat Brussels sprouts for
Yeah.
every meal for a year.
I was like, I go,
Uh,
honey, because in the cabaret show, my biggest song that I did was La Bamba. Now we're talking
La
about
Bamba,
89,
yeah.
80, 88 through 94, something like that. So, and I did that show. They requested that song all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
told her, and after a while, I said, I never want to do that song again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, I go back to singing La Bamba if I could. I'm tired of this. And I just didn't want to do country anymore. So to hear, you want to do country just to me is like, why?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, no, and okay, and the funny thing is, like, if you'd known me, gosh, I don't know, in the past 10 years, like, I was just like, no country, no country. So,
Okay,
my
so-
friends, I'd go drinking
get it.
beers and they'd like, let's put on some music. I'm like, anything but country,
Thank
please.
you,
Like,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and the thing is, like, the country right now that I'm like learning is like real old school stuff.
You're learning
Yeah.
some,
That's
because
cool.
I know I keep sending you some songs,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch out there that's not just what you hear on the radio. That's like, oh God,
Mhm.
somebody hang me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No.
Well, we were up at, is it one of those things where you'll do it because you're playing it? You'll listen to it because you're playing it, or you listen to it because now that you're doing it, it's a little more fun. You're not as I don't
Yeah.
like it as much because when I was singing it,
you're
it
doing
was,
several
yeah,
country songs
yeah,
now.
and they're the songs that I did in that production show years ago.
Oh, dang, wow.
So because there's one song that I don't like doing anymore. It's like I'm tired. I don't know whether I'm tired, but whenever I go to open mic and Jaffe Ryder's playing,
Mhm.
he likes to do One More Last Chance by Vince Gill.
Mhm.
But one time I did it because my wife asked me to. So every time he plays it, he wants me to come up and sing it with him.
because he knows you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go up and I sing with him. I'll sing a harmony above him, and I'll do it every time he asks
Yeah.
because I'm up there with him playing,
Uh-huh.
and it's more fun.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that why you just feel like, oh, this is something to get your interest back up? Is that what happened? Is that got your interest in it, or do you even
With
realize?
country?
Yeah.
No, actually, it started out like as a fun gimmick, like because I was like, I'm always a Latin guy
Yeah.
all around
Yeah.
town. In my cumbia band, like we did that, and that was fun. And I'm like, I'm gonna just like surprise everybody and just do a bunch of country stuff, do some like,
Actually,
just,
Actually, I think the proper answer is that you had this amazing student that came up that was into country, and you were just inspired by
yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right. Yeah, I forgot his name, man.
Yeah,
He
okay.
played nothing but country.
Don't you wish you were wearing higher boots to keep out of all the BS that's building up?
I need to go buy me some.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's been long enough. He brought
now-
his guitar. Let's hear him.
Yeah,
Wait,
for
We've been
sure.
talking about how much you know.
Where is it? I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, this is my guitar.
That's awesome.
That is nice.
I have to tune it. Tune it. I'm not gonna play any country.
Why do we tune?
That's cool. Why do we
Yeah.
tune? Because we care.
To
Or
make
the other
it
one
easier
is
for your ears.
well, Dwight Dixon always says, "Why do we tune?" And his first one is because we care. But the best one he does is
Because we're not Led Zeppelin.
because it's not jazz.
No, I do got to say that Damian's previous band, Consoli Limon, they did put out an album, CD, and I walked in and he was playing it one time. I was like, who's the band? Because I'm sitting there listening to the lead singer, and I really didn't want to give him an overly inflated head, but it sounded so much. The lead singing sounded so much like Juanes, and it was him. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome.
I think you're being way too nice, Randy. I don't sound anything like what.
The one you were doing up there, yeah.
Well, that's nice. Thank you.
And I know you do some Juanes too, because I've heard you do it.
Yeah, I've covered some. I mean, when I play Latin music, that's why I call it Latin. Like I go across Central, South America, Mexico,
Oh, yeah.
like
Cuban. You
Cuban,
got to do
yeah.
Cuban out here because salsa is just
Caribbean.
huge.
yeah.
my family's Puerto Rican. I grew up on Latin jazz, like Willie Colon and
Yeah.
Celia Cruz,
The
all
whole-
those.
the whole
That's what
Buena
I grew up
Vista,
listening to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's some good stuff there.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, you said La Bamba.
Oh no. You don't have to do that. You do not.
I was
have
like,
to do
I
that.
mean,
Go ahead.
I had my version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that case, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just do a quick do a couple verses because man, I could stretch that. I used to stretch that song out to like 5 minutes,
Wow.
6 minutes. That's my end of the night gig, and I'm like, do you have any more songs? oh look, I have 10 minutes left. Cool, let's do La Bamba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did it because at the time the movie had come out and it was a popular song again
Oh yeah.
because of the
Gotcha.
movie, and that's why I did it in the show that I did. I auditioned with it, and the director loved it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
By the way, this is how you know that you're dealing with a guitar player.
Yeah.
As he reaches into his wallet to pull out one of
Yeah,
the picks he's got
exactly.
stored away.
I don't carry a wallet for money. I carry it for my
There you go.
No way, man. Okay, actually, I don't need a pick for this one. Okay. And thank God I have my nails.
There you go.
So I used to play nylon string,
Oh, okay.
and I would just use my nails
Mhm.
for a lot of the strumming that I used to do. So I did this little weird strumming and just played La Bamba, my version, and like every time I played like Hacienda La Posa, people that know me, they'd come in, they'd be like, play La Bamba because I like the way you do it. So this is my little quick version. Oh,
Before we get up, we got a couple of comments from somebody that I haven't seen in a while. A stranger, I swear. Yeah, Caitlin Bennett.
Oh my God.
Daisy Blue.
Yes.
Daisy Blue.
She says, "Good morning. Sounds great this morning. Thank you,
Thank you, Daisy.
Gracias.
I miss you like crazy.
Yes.
An invitation got put up, and I was going to go. She was doing her podcast yesterday at Ice House,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
with both Callista and Abby Naira. Which I was like, man, and I put interested, and I was like, yeah, I want to go to that. And I didn't realize it was Wednesday at 3:00, which is 30 minutes before my lesson with you starts. So I was like, well, I guess I missed that.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Sorry,
My
Daisy.
lesson always gets in the way.
Yeah.
I know what's wrong with you. Actually, it did. When
Make me feel better. Oh yeah. Explain it to me, please.
when I first started taking lessons with you, you had my lessons were Wednesday nights.
Right.
Thursday nights.
No, it started out Wednesday.
Did it? Oh,
Yeah.
And it was 6 to 7.
yeah. Later.
Ice House was doing their open mic, and I've been going to that from
That's right.
6 to close, and I had to adjust that, and then
He starts going to Amaro's open mic, and then
Amaro was doing
Thursday.
well, Amaro was doing Saturday afternoons,
Saturday afternoons.
and then we switched it to Thursday nights, and like the week after we switched to Thursday nights, Amaro says, "Yeah, we're going to switch open mic to Thursday nights." I was like, "What the heck?"
It's meant to be. You're supposed to warm up your fingers with me and
Yeah.
then go play an open mic.
And the thing is, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Nice. So it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now we
Start playing.
get back to this.
Kind of why we brought you here. So.
And we got two other quick messages. Word, all stretched out from Daisy, and then she says priorities SMH. Sorry, girl, but I still love you very much.
We do. We miss you.
And you need to come out to open mic. Amaro's doing it Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, starting at 2.
We'll get into that in a minute, but yeah.
Damian's doing his open mic at Little Toad on Wednesday nights tonight.
Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah,
I was just playing some elevator music.
that works.
Yeah. She might back up, right?
You're good. I got you.
All right. It's too early. And no one's giving me tequila. No, I'm just kidding.
Be careful. I will.
Para bailar la bamba. Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia. Una poca de gracia y otra cosita y arriba y arriba. Ay, arriba y arriba y arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán. Soy capitán, soy capitán. Ba, ba, bamba. Ba, ba, bamba. Ba, ba, bamba. Ba, ba, bamba. A mi hermana le dicen la cucaracha porque cada noche llega borracha y arriba y arriba. Ay, arriba y arriba y arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Ba, ba, bam, ba, 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 bam, ba, 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 bam, ba, 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 bam, ba. Ay, Cupido, te pido, de por favor que se acabe la bamba. Que se acabe la bamba, venga otro son, venga otro son, venga otro son. Ba, ba, bamba, Ba 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 ba. That was a grito at the end, okay?
Dude, that's
Ba ba. I can't do it anymore. There we go.
So, that I can listen to again.
that's
That I can
awesome.
handle.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I did it a little bit different.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
you're going
That
back
is
to the
so
more
cool.
the more traditional
A
version.
little
Yeah.
bit, yeah,
Which,
yeah. Close to the Veracruzano style.
Yeah, which I always preferred because I grew up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a case of Richie Valens is kind of cool, but this is the way
Yeah.
the song is really played. So,
Yeah.
um,
And
yeah.
it's mostly just talking crap about the sailors that came into Veracruz at the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's another thing. I was singing the song and I had no idea what the heck I was singing. My mother, it was like 2 shows in. My mother said, "You're doing it wrong." I said, "What? You're saying these 3."
dang.
She told me words that I was saying wrong, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh, sorry."
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah, that's why I don't see my Spanish. I do not know much Spanish, but I lived in Missouri for 7 years, and my Spanish there was impressive. Out here, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a different ball game.
Oh yeah. I knew when I went into Walmart and the signs were both in English and Spanish. I knew I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. No, and it's funny as you get closer to the border, right? You go into El Paso, it's a different type of Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're at the border, and it's like both Spanish and English, but different in both languages. Then you're in Juarez, you're like, whoa, this is completely different.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you
see,
go interior and it gets really weird.
It gets
Because
Well, I feel-
they go back to the old Castilian as you get into the interior, and it's that it makes me itchy. That's the sort of there's
have-
words there that if you start using them up here, you're gonna get your butt kicked.
Yeah, they're different. Yeah, different
and
phrases.
my family's
idioms.
Puerto Rican.
Mhm.
That's like a slang kind of Spanish.
Español!
Yeah, and my sister tried to take Spanish in junior high, and it did not work because when they said if you want to say if somebody has something you want to see it, you say "Dama mira este por favor," and and my sister's like, "Wait, we say "Dame ve." That's all we say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Puerto Rican Spanish. I
It's
love it.
very
It's different.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine who was Mexican, and he says, "Yeah, man, I was in New York, where there are more Puerto Ricans in New York than there are on the island." And he goes, "Man, I used to think I was bilingual."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
He said they opened their mouth, they started talking. He was like, "Yeah, what?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you think that we've got dialect issues here with English?
Yeah.
Spanish all
is
over the place.
different,
It's just
yeah.
Even between North and South New Mexico,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
it's a huge difference.
Yeah, I actually when I was running karaoke shows, I decided, I want to try this. So I started singing a song. It was Calle Ocho by Pitbull. Pitbull's Cuban.
Yeah.
I had to learn part of that
Yeah.
song phonetically
Yeah.
because the words wouldn't come. If I just said the words like, no, that's not the way you say that. I had to sit there and relearn it phonetically because this is weird. This doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then again,
Argentinian,
I drove a truck for a year, and there's differences. I went to Arkansas, and I went to load up, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Yeah, just dig on down any old door, I'm gonna get you filled up."
Uh-huh.
What the heck? From there, I went to New Jersey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just go over the door,
Yeah.
D. Go back there. There's a desk. His name is Mikey. He'll hook you up. And I'm like, him, I understood. I got family from New York,
That's cool.
but it was like different parts of the country.
Yeah.
It was different.
I got back. I went to Boston.
Oh
Went to Boston.
God.
Like, hey man, where you guys going? You guys got a problem? You guys trying to catch a train over there in Boston? And I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I love it. I love accents. Man.
And it's a weird thing.
vibes.
I had a friend that was living down here that she was from Boston, and it's kind of cool because besides the accent, you get a different attitude.
Yeah.
So even when she's saying some of the nicest things, she's being real friendly. It comes across like she's trying to pick a fight just because of the way it sounds.
You're just like, oh, yeah, please, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
how do I respond? Like, yeah.
So my parents are from New York, and my mother was born and raised in New York, and she she doesn't have an accent most of the time, but then all of a sudden we'll go over to her house and she'd say, "Lori, go over there, give me a glass of water," and then we could look at her and go, "You've been talking to your sister today, haven't you?" She goes, "Yeah, I talked to your aunt a little while ago." I was like, "Yeah, we can tell."
Oh
Yeah.
goodness. No, that's
Wow.
cool. Yeah, I love accents, man.
it is fun when you
Was
go to
that my
different parts of the country, even just different parts of the
Oop.
country. It's hilarious.
Oh,
You got an alarm.
I got 10 alarms.
I know the
Start
feeling.
practicing, stop practicing, eat lunch, eat breakfast. I mix them up too. So.
Yeah. Well, the nice
It
thing
is what it
is,
is.
yeah, I tend to pick it up all day long and all night long. I'm sleeping a little bit. That's just everything else is just getting back in my music room and messing around. And
Is this your music room?
this is the broadcast
This
room.
is the
I'll
broadcast
have
room.
to show you the
Yeah.
music room
Hey,
before you leave. It's
definitely.
next door. Yeah, the nice thing about being in a 3-bedroom house and not sharing it with anybody is you can do whatever the hell you
All
want.
yours. Yeah.
So
That sounds
yeah,
cool.
I put some work into that one. It's kind of a neat little room.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's also the
but-
alcohol cellar.
Oh yes, there is that as well.
So why are we not in there?
I know. That's
sorry.
That's for an after-hours
It's too
show.
early. Yeah. It's too early. It's too early.
Yeah, I think we're setting a bad example if we start downing shots at 8 in the morning.
I will say, okay, I'm going to bring this up. Amaro Winery started doing, they crossed with Little Toad Creek.
Yes.
They have their tequila. I tried it.
Mhm.
Outstanding. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. Just thought I'd
I'm-
mention that.
I'm not a tequila person. It just leaves me feeling like, oh, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. But I did taste it, and it does taste like tequila. So
I looked at the
So
girl. I
it's not
said,
bad.
I understand you have a tequila now. She goes, yeah, we crossed with Little Toad Creek. And I go, how do you
Yeah.
serve it? She goes, well, right now we're just doing shots. I went, that'll work.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're doing the tequila. Little Toad is carrying several of
Yeah.
Amaro's premier wines.
Cool.
Which are
So
fantastic.
it's no longer a case of, well, I don't do wine, so I'm not going to go to Amaro. There's other stuff there.
Yeah, they have.
They've got the beers, the local
Mhm.
beers. They've got the
Great.
tequila. If you go to Little Toad, and you're like, well, I don't really do beer. Well, they
Yeah.
got the wines. They've
Yeah.
got several liquors, not just tequila, but
Yeah.
they're doing several different liquors.
I haven't been there in a while. I need to go.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's
great.
awesome,
Yeah.
and they've made so many nice changes to that place over time. It was basically just an empty back lot, and they've changed all sorts of
Oh
stuff
yeah,
to
the
make it
back
really
patio.
nice. Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah.
This Saturday we didn't have the open mic because they had the Christmas market,
Mhm.
which were fantastic. Unfortunately, I was playing at Don Felix, so my wife had to run my table for me, and that was a lot of fun. But we had Dwight Dixon's birthday party on Sunday, which turned into an open mic because he just told everybody, "Bring your guitar, let's have some fun."
Mhm.
And CW showed up, and a few other people showed up, and we had a good time. I got to jam with the MF rhythm section.
Those guys are
With
so
Dave
much
and Tim.
fun.
I got to jam with them for a little while because they were up there and I went up to play and they go, "Do you want us to follow you?" And yeah, sure, go ahead.
Mhm.
I figured, can you? Because I don't even know what I'm doing.
Oh, those guys. Yeah, they're
They were
pros,
fun.
man.
So,
They're
yeah,
we had a
pros.
lot of fun.
Well,
We had fun.
especially Dave is just out of his
Yeah.
mind with the
Yeah.
way he plays.
Mhm.
He's up there to have fun first and
Oh, yeah.
foremost,
Yeah.
and he just happens to be really competent drummer.
Yeah.
And of course, Tim, I've known Tim for years,
Yeah,
and
he is such a
um,
nice guy.
yeah, for years and years, I knew he was playing. I was his mechanic, and I'd never heard him play. And the
Yeah.
first time I heard him play, he was playing with Daisy Blue, and he did "Ain't No Sunshine." And I was like,
Oh yeah.
Are you
Ooh, that's a
kidding
good
me?
one.
he was so good at
Yeah,
it.
because I looked at them. I said, so if we're gonna do this more often, there's a few songs that I want to do, but I can't do them by myself because they're so bass driven.
hmm
And I looked at Tim. Tim will just look at it and go, "Oh yeah, I could do that."
Oh, yeah.
I know he'll be able to
He's-
do that because
Yeah, he's been playing
Dwight,
for quite a few years.
because
So-
Dwight's out did that too. He looked at me and goes, "Oh, I can do that," and he starts playing. I'm like, "Okay, never mind."
Mhm.
Because I know you've played with Dwight and
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah.
You played with the MF band.
No,
No?
I played with White and Red. I played with Truman. I've also played with Jaffe.
Cool. Oh, nice.
That
And
was
nice.
Jaffe was
amazing.
fun because we
Oh,
got up there and did a
man.
song that only him and I were the only ones who'd ever heard it before.
Oh, really?
So
Oh,
everybody was
really?
kind of following what we were doing.
That's-
And Jaffe's fun.
Oh,
He
yeah,
does
he's that guy.
he does some really weird fingerings, I've noticed.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
stopped doing that when he was playing with me, and he was doing more standard fingerings because we're sitting there facing each other.
Yeah.
He's watching what I'm doing and taking his cue from me. I'm watching what he's doing, and we're basically playing back and forth, which was awesome. I didn't know I could do that.
He
Yeah.
did that with me. I went up and did the Neil Young song, "Old Man,"
Mhm.
and Jaffe said, "Hey, can I join you on that?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And it did not. I'm sitting there going, "This does not sound like any way I've done it before," but it just evolved into something. I was like, "What the
Nice.
heck was that?" I wish we'd have recorded it because it sounded totally different.
Mhm.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that guy's a genius. Man.
Yeah.
All those
Yeah.
guys. Man.
And
It's-
Red, every time I play Overkill, because I play it, by myself, so it's melodic and I slow it down a little bit so it sounds a little better. Well, he goes up there first time. He goes, "Hey, can we play that with you?" Yeah, BJ, listen, Okay. And all of a sudden he starts clicking it off, and I'm like, this is gonna be fun because he sped up the tempo to more than and
Mhm.
because he was playing,
Gotcha.
and it was great. But it was like he didn't even tell me he was gonna listen, and he clicked it off, and I went, here we go.
Yeah. And he's one of these amazing drummers
Yeah.
that he knows how to lead you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't get off from him because he's going to keep you where
Yeah.
you're supposed to be.
Man, I'm so jealous right now. I've never jammed out. with
Oh,
those
you got
guys.
to
Oh, you've
just
got
come
to.
over
Yeah.
and say
Yeah.
something. They'll join you.
Yeah.
They would love
Well,
to.
and that's the thing. Like, well, that's why I kind of wanted to start doing like more English stuff and country, because it's like, oh,
Mhm.
like they could follow that. But I used to go to the Chris Baker band over at Amador.
Mhm.
Amador Live, yeah. Wasn't that where he was doing it?
No, not Amador. No, that was something else. No, it was way back when he was doing it at
Oh,
Pecan Grill.
Pecan Grill,
Pecan
yeah.
Grill, yeah.
We were
and then-
talking about that earlier
That's
today.
right.
And then every once in a while, Dave and Tim, they'd be like, "Do you want us to back you up?" I'm like, "Do you know this song?" And they're like, "Nope, never heard of it." So I was like, "Okay, yeah." Well, that was always my problem. I'm always doing something like Latin, and they're like, "No, I'm okay." No.
Well, here's a neat thing. If you, like I say, you need to come to tomorrow and do it with these
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
One of the things I found out with Dwight and Red especially, they've been doing this for so long. Basically, with Dwight, I would tell him the key that it's in and the chord progression. I would start playing it, and Red would pick up. I just play in a lengthened opening, and Red would get the rhythm down.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like they knew this song even though they never heard it before.
Yes.
Well,
So-
but yeah, I mean, I see their brains like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're thinking, they're like, okay, 4/4, 2/4.
So it makes it easier to do something that you don't have to worry about them not knowing the song.
I mean, my Latin stuff.
I would love to see them try it because I
I'd
think it'd be
love to
cool.
see
Because the
that. I'm
bass
like-
lines are way different. The
Yeah,
the rhythm is like constant.
You
It's
gotta-
off the beat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I didn't even realize until I started the band, and we went through a bunch of drummers, and I was like, and that's when I saw that, whoa, the offbeat really throws a lot of drummers off if they've never played Latin music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
they have, then like, oh, they catch on right away.
Oh, yeah.
And the bass lines are very specific in cumbias.
Mhm.
Oh
And
yeah.
so yeah, that's why I was
You've got like
well,
basically
be-
3 or 4 patterns is all,
It would be
yeah,
neat to
but
watch.
yeah,
Red.
exactly.
but they're specific to that only.
Exactly to that genre of music. Like you need to know it.
You got to come down because I would be neat to watch Red actually have to think, because sometimes he's up there and he just looks bored.
Yeah.
I've seen that face. Yeah.
Right?
He's just
Yeah.
he's just looking around. He's saying hi to everybody with his eyes. Like,
Yeah. It's
Hey.
like he's not really playing.
Not
He's just
really,
kind of
no.
he's kind of kicked back, and then he does something that's like, what the hell was that?
oh yeah.
And it's just this amazing little run that he'll do, and he never changes his expression once.
Yeah.
He just plays. He's like, "Hey."
He's a cool guy, man. He's a
Oh,
cool
he's
dude.
awesome.
great. Yeah.
We had to do open mic indoors one time because the wind was so bad,
Mhm.
and he just brought a snare
And a hi-hat,
and a
wasn't it?
hi-hat, and he did more with that than most guys can do with the whole kit. It still was so
Mhm.
awesome. I was like, he's the neatest guy too.
Oh, yeah.
Just you gotta hang out with him.
That's
Yeah,
super cool.
He
So,
comes
yes,
across
come
for a guy you
out,
can't
man.
really approach at first, and then when you do approach him, you're like, oh, he's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
How much does Amato pay you to get musicians out there?
Oh,
No.
we can't talk about
No,
that.
I'm just
Can't
kidding.
talk about that.
No, but I did want to
No.
say that's super cool, Randy. You're learning a lot just by
Yeah.
first of all showing up. But
Mhm.
now, then you start playing solo, and then now jamming out with these guys. Like,
Yeah.
you're learning so much that it takes me back to when you're just all nervous and I want to play with other people, but how do I do it? Blah blah blah.
Right.
This is a perfect opportunity,
Mhm.
to get that
Yeah.
experience and
Because there's no stakes. You're
Mm-mm.
just out there having fun.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm sorry. The biggest thing is that when you go out there, Dwight is so just inclusive. I tell people if you
Yeah,
want to go and
yeah.
just listen, great. But
Uh-huh.
if you bring a guitar, you are gonna play.
Mhm,
Mhm.
definitely.
He doesn't. He puts everybody out there, and he has. That's a place that gave me a chance when I was trying to get places to let me play. That's a place that gave me a chance to play when nobody else would.
Mhm.
And I keep going
Yeah.
over there. I made so many great friends, and I feel like I've really joined the community because of that. That's why we talk about the place so much
Mhm. No,
because of what's been going on.
no, he does a great job.
Yeah.
I started going last summer, when it was on Saturdays. Where
Mhm.
did he just move it back to
Yes,
Saturdays?
it's back on
Yeah,
Saturdays.
he's back to Saturdays now because
Yeah.
of the winter.
Yeah, and and I loved it. Because it was right like kind of right at the end of like COVID, where people were kind of going out and this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And Amado just like opened it up. It was outdoors.
Hmm.
It was an open mic, and it was just nice to see the music family again,
Mhm.
or even meet new people and be become part of that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like they do a really good job. I'm always supporting them and
Mhm.
letting people know Amado throws a great open mic.
Mhm.
Go
Mhm.
check them out. You have a awesome like duo behind you if you want them to back you up,
Mhm.
drum and bass. And
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah,
And you've
they
done
do
some of that
great.
with your open mic too.
Yeah,
Um,
we were experimenting. Catfish, he would bring his drum set,
mhm.
and
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 then you get on the guitar
on
for people.
for some people, yeah.
You have one girl that comes out, and she's basically a poet more
Hmm.
than anything else.
Hmm.
Does not play anything, has not written any music for her stuff,
Hmm.
and you've gotten up there and played with her, and she's sung her stuff, and it's kind of
It's
cool.
yeah, she's and it's each time she does it, like it just gets better and better because she's
Hmm.
picking up like chord changes and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
it's
and you two
uh,
are vibing more as you've done it
yeah,
more.
yeah. I'm every time I play with her, I'm like, she impresses me because I'm like, wow, like all
Mm.
right,
Yeah,
you're
That's
following me,
cool.
but you're still doing your thing. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's really
yeah.
cool to do that.
And the funny thing is, people who talk about my music being downer and sad, her stuff is way darker than
It's
mine for the
dark,
most
yeah.
part. So,
It's dark, yeah.
I gotta hear this.
oh, it's cool.
It's like
It's
I
very
love
cool.
that stuff. That's like the real you. Like bring
Yes.
it
So let
out. Like yeah.
so let's emphasize that you run an open mic on
Mhm,
Wednesday nights at Little Toad Creek
Mhm.
mhm.
from
8 to 11.
8 to
8
11.
to
Yeah.
11. Yeah,
And
it's
that's and what is just it's just open mic. Show up and
yeah, a musical open mic. They just want performers, and so I mean, you could sing a cappella. You can bring a track and then play on top of that.
You've had all that happen.
Yeah,
You had a guy that's come out with his trumpet and
with
just
this
played
one,
trumpet. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I'll join in on cajon.
Mhm.
When I see Truman, bro, can you
Mm.
play the cajon with me? Like that gets me amped. So yeah, of course. And then he
Great.
usually
Truman even
finishes it
more
out.
amp.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah.
yeah.
Imagine him, yeah, more amped than normal. Yeah, that it was at Little Toad that Truman was sitting there and playing so hard that he threw his glasses
Oh yeah,
straight forward.
yeah.
My wife was at the ball and she hears this guitar player. She goes, okay. And she looks in the distance. She goes, that looks like Truman. All of a sudden he started doing it. She goes, that's Truman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That guy rocks out, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, those are my two go tos. Is Amaro and Little Toad. I haven't been to Little
Yeah.
Toad in a bit, but I think I'm making it out tonight.
I think I scared you when I made you stay on stage for like
Oh my God! The
40
very
minutes.
first time you're just like play another, play
Yeah.
another, and and then after after everybody gone through, he says get back up on stage, do some more,
Yeah.
and I went home and counted, and I was like, I did 11 different songs. I did one song twice, but I did 11 different songs. I was like, I didn't know I knew 11 songs.
Oh yeah. Well, look at you now. You have no problem. Like,
Yeah.
I got songs. I know I
Yeah.
do. Like, yeah.
I keep
Just
adding more.
ripping that
Yeah.
band-aid off. Like, just stay. Just keep playing. Keep playing.
Yeah. Well, it was fun.
Yeah.
And you were doing it outside at
Mhm.
the time. That's changed with the weather thing. It's
Yeah.
just now inside, but still, Little Toad is very cool. It's a totally different place with a totally different bunch of beers. If you want to, if you're into the brewery scene and want to see what they've got to offer, because yeah, every place it's totally different what they have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you'll find what you like, and of course it's just a blast. You don't know who's going to show up at your open mic.
You know, open mics, and you got to be careful because sometimes you have open mics that a lot of different people show up and a lot of different levels.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's one thing to have someone go, can I just try? Because I just want to give it a try. And you're like, yeah, go ahead.
Mhm.
Then there's the people that are like, oh yeah, I'll get up and sing for you. And then you're listening to them like, please don't.
Yeah.
I went to an open mic. It was when it was still at the Bennigans, or what is it called? What was it called?
Oh, God.
Dublin's.
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 Yeah.
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 And I went there one time and I was, getting started and I was learning my stuff and I played a couple songs and they're like, oh, that was great. Thanks. Then about 3 other, college students got up there and they started singing and he looks at me and goes, you got another one?
That's sad. That's really sad.
God, I used to go to those. Not to
Yeah.
perform, but
Just hang
those
out.
on Wednesday nights too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was cool. God, that was so long
That
ago.
that was the time when basically Cruises had at least one open mic every
Yeah.
night of the week.
Yes,
That's true.
That
That's
was
true.
because
And,
I started going to Icebox right after the first time I was on with him in the show.
Mhm.
And it would every night it was somewhere.
God,
Yeah.
Monday
And
through Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
awesome.
and you had at least one night had two at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah, right now we've got Little Toad on Wednesday nights,
Mhm.
Amaro on Saturdays. It'll go back to Thursdays once the weather changes.
Yeah.
You've got Pete's Patio
Right.
at NMSU is doing it
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday nights as well.
Wednesdays,
They do it. I think they start at 5. They start a little
Yeah.
bit earlier,
yeah.
and then you've got NM Vintage is doing theirs.
I think they're still doing theirs.
They
Oh,
are,
Monday
yes,
nights,
they
yeah.
are on Monday
Okay.
nights.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you want to get there. It's apparently starts up at 6. You want to get there to start to sign up at 5.
Mhm.
They do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there yet, but I'm
I
gonna have
keep
to. I'm gonna have to
trying.
go at some point.
I keep trying, but I never. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I show up
It's-
and Baker's like, all right, let's get Damian up here. I'm like, I didn't even sign up. Who
Yes,
cares?
it's always been that way.
Yeah.
The first time you
I'm
showed
like,
up at
oh,
open
God.
mic at Ice House, at Icebox, that's what happened. And you're like, no, I'm just here to listen.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah, I
like,
was
what?
No. Like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
The first time I went to a Amaro winery, I showed up and I took my guitar and I said, well, maybe I'll play. I'll see how because I wasn't sure. And Dwight comes up to me with a sign up sheet and he goes, okay, I see a guitar. I see you, but I'm not sure if you, well,
Yeah.
I wasn't good at what's your name? Okay.
Yeah, I always sneak in there. That's why I went last summer to Amato, because I was like, they don't know me.
Wrong.
Like, no, it took them a while. They're like, so do you want to play? And I was like, does he know that I play? Like, and then eventually he's like, come on, why don't you play the song? All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went one time saying, I'm not going to play. I'm just going to go hang out. Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not happen. They have their guitars, their extra guitars. You
yeah.
can borrow somebody else's.
Dwight has one there,
Yes.
and you go, okay.
Yeah, there's no excuses.
No.
And the
No
music community out here is just one of just
Yeah.
cheerleaders constantly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's a
So-
cool thing.
That's
That's a
Oh,
cool
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I was, like I said, I grew up and I played a lot in Southern California, in the LA area.
Oh,
And
wow.
there was a lot of music going on, but it was like you had one good thing and it wasn't as fun. It was
Mhm.
really competitive because bands weren't the people I saw, at least whenever I went out, it wasn't as good. Out here, everybody that you see,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's amazing
Yeah.
the level of talent that's out here.
Mhm.
I couldn't believe I went there. There's so many different people. It's like I always say during the summer,
Mhm.
drive around Mesilla with your window down. When you hear something you like,
Oh,
pull
yeah.
over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because there's something
Every
going on all
weekend,
over.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many different styles from people doing country, people doing rock, people doing Latin music
Latin
of
stuff.
different types, people doing folk, and
Yeah.
we've got a couple of metal
Yeah.
bands out here,
Exactly.
so
Yeah, the
all
Broke-
sorts of stuff.
The Broken Owls. Oh my gosh, that's an
Yeah.
80s heavy metal band. They are so much
Yes,
fun.
Those guys
Oh,
rock, man. Yeah, they're so good.
They are great.
Tag them.
And since
Yeah.
there's so many different types of music,
Yeah.
that means that one of the things we do on this show, how's this for a seg?
There we go. There we go.
And there it is.
we talk about the different the different things that are going on this week.
Yeah.
Starting off with somebody I haven't hardly seen her name out anywhere. Salud de Messia this Friday, 6 to 9. Allison Reynolds is going to be performing.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You don't see her name very much right now.
Not lately. I haven't.
There was a point that she was all over the place, and she's doing some stuff, but it doesn't come up very often.
Well, she's been recording.
Yeah, well, that's good. Sage Gentlewing is going to be playing at Icebox Brewery. That's the one on Picacho.
Mm,
Saturday, starting at 6.
cool.
Sage
Nice,
is
nice.
cool,
Yeah.
and he's got stories. Oh my God, he's got stories. Jacko and Perono are going to be playing at Amara Winery this Sunday at 2.
Wow.
I don't know who they are.
New
Got a-
band.
on
Got a picture of them.
Sunday.
It's a guy and a girl, both with acoustic guitars. So that could be interesting.
There's new
Wait.
stuff coming up all the time.
So they have a Sunday music at Amato?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sunday
Okay.
afternoons. Yeah.
Okay. So I have Friday and then Sunday music and then Saturday's open mic.
Right.
right. And
Gotcha.
yeah, Saturday's open mic, and then afterwards is salsa.
Yeah.
there.
Oh, how cool. Yeah.
So yeah, and apparently they fill that dance floor a lot of times
Yeah.
full.
I was talking to
Nice.
Walter. Walter says we got to extend this.
Yeah. Well, when they started, it's just a slab of concrete, and it was stippled concrete.
Mhm.
It's pretty well smooth now.
Yeah.
Just from people
From all the
dancing on it,
dancing,
yeah.
they got busy on that thing.
Oh yeah. Ted Scanlon and the Desperados are going to be at Rio Grande Winery this Friday at 5. They're a nice little out of town band. Chris Smith, Escargega, is going to be performing at Rio Grande Sunday at 3.
Mm,
Cool local guy. Chris Baker is going to be at Boneyard Cantina this Saturday at 6.
Oh.
Nice, yeah.
So that's cool. Boneyard doesn't do as much music as I would like them to do.
Yeah.
They need
I
to.
feel like they're starting,
And
to be more consistent.
and I've talked to several of the people that work there, and they really want more music. What they really want, several of them have talked about, they really want to get an open mic going there. I was like, well, then do it.
You guys should do it.
You know what? I've
not?
actually considered the possibility, because with my DJing stuff, I've got equipment like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I looked at some of the stuff going on in other places. I was sent a picture of an open mic in Albuquerque, and oh my God, it was so sad looking. It was a little portable, nothing amplifier that they had set in the floor in this corner of this stark little room. And I was like, oh my God.
oh yeah, I've seen some of those. Like, really? Is this really going on?
Yeah. You're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you see what Dwight sets up, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, after that, it's like, so what band is playing tonight? No, it's just open mic. What?
Yeah.
Kind of intimidated. Right?
Oh yeah. And there's got to be a happy medium.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I took my wife there, and we got Tim. You got Red on the drums.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight's playing bass, and then you had Jaffe playing guitar, and they were jamming. They played like 4 or 5 songs, and my wife's like, "Go find out where they're playing. I want to go see them." I go over and ask him. I said, "Where do you guys play?" And he looked at me like, "We're not a band."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
After they did their whole set, it was awesome. You're like,
They're doing everything, but ending it with "Thank you, Las Cruces."
yeah, exactly.
Everything else is like,
Our next gig.
I was gonna find out where you're playing next. And he goes, "Next week here."
Next week,
Yeah. Whoever
Same
shows
time,
up.
same place, yeah.
Blue Moon Bar is going to have this Saturday at 6. Austin Van is coming down. They're a band from up in northern New Mexico, around Rio Rancho area, and I've heard them before. Country band. The lead singer, I got to call him a kid.
Yeah.
He's the first time I saw him was at the country fest, and I was like, yeah, he's getting, and he did. They X'd his hand because he was underage. He couldn't drink.
Oh wow!
But he gets up and does old school country like a pro, and his whole band has got 30 to 40 years on him.
Wow!
They're much older people, including this one guy that sits there, and he's got his little duffer hat pulled down, and he's sitting there on a table steel slide guitar.
Wow.
Nice.
And just rocking that thing. So
cool.
yeah, if you get a chance to hear Austin Van, they're awesome. And he's been coming down a lot more lately. So
yeah, I've seen his name more and more.
yeah, it's a neat band, and it catches you off guard because you're like, no, they aren't going to sound like anything. yeah, they're damn good.
Cool.
Yeah, Don Felix this Friday at 6 is doing the Monochrome Jazz Quintet, starting at 6.
I haven't
Wow.
checked them out.
Jazz is not really my thing, but a good band is a good band.
Yeah.
Let's see. Of course, Zia Comics is doing their RPG Play Day this Sunday at 1. Still not about rockets. It's a role-playing game.
He was hearing Trevor from Zia Comics comes in and he goes, "Yeah, we have our RPG." And I looked at him and went, and I gave him this look and he goes, "Role player." What was it? I forgot the exact, but he told me that role player game. I went, "Oh, okay," because I'm thinking, dang,
something else. Yeah.
Oh,
what the
yeah.
heck you guys got going on there?
And we are getting close to Christmas. This Wednesday the 15th and also December 22nd. Broken Spoke Tap House is going to be doing their ugly sweater party, 4 p.m. till close.
Cool.
So yeah, I think it's mainly ugly Christmas sweaters, but if you got a sweater that's just god awful ugly, I guess that's a good excuse to wear it.
You got to be careful with that because I remember being somewhere where somebody said, "Yeah, it's ugly sweater day, so I wore this one." I gave you that.
Karaoke nights tonight at Amaro is karaoke. Tomorrow night at Little Toad Creek is karaoke. So if that's your thing,
there we go.
And they have karaoke Tuesdays and Wednesday nights at Rat.
Yeah.
And they start later. I think they start at 8 or 9.
I want to say it.
And they go until 2 a.m.
They're making sure they weed out the old folks.
And they're packed.
Oh yeah.
They're like booked. Yeah.
It was one night. They had to go ahead and move it to 2 nights because they were way overpacked.
Yeah.
So you got to go the first night, sign up so they can play on the second night.
And then, exactly. Yeah.
Sign up and then go
Hopefully
home.
they'll put you in rotation. We'll see.
we had a lot of people at Amara wanting to come up and do the the karaoke thing, and that's when Dwight said that's Wednesday.
Oh,
People
an
kept
open
asking
mic.
him, "Can you play this song on my phone?" And I'll just wait. That's Wednesday.
That's karaoke. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, that's about it.
Yeah, because of the
It's getting very
weather.
sparse with the
Yeah.
holidays.
The
Coming up.
holidays and the weather mainly, because some of the outdoor places you just can't
Yeah.
sit out there because
It's cold. It's getting cold.
yeah, I noticed that I don't have anything booked till February, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not too bad, because the last year I remember playing in December and January. My wife was like, you go have fun,
Oh
because I
yeah.
was up there. It was cold,
Oh yeah.
kind of hard to.
I did want to mention because I know
Yeah.
you pulled out like your list of all these performers and stuff, and so I don't know if you guys follow me. I think you do.
I do.
too.
Not sure if you do, but
No.
my El Gato Loco Studios page. Every I do my best every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll put like just Friday. I'll put all the Friday performers in the area, and then Saturday
Oh.
I'll wake up and I'll put all the performers in.
Awesome.
Saturday.
I don't
how do we
think
find that
I'm on
page?
El Gato. I think I'm just on your
No.
personal page.
Oh, okay, yeah. So follow that at El Gato Loco Studios. That's my handle for Instagram, and then throughout the week I'll put some inspirational posts and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Videos of my students playing guitar.
So once
Oh,
again, to find you there,
Instagram,
it's
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay. El Gato Loco.
El Gato Loco Studios.
Yeah, I do follow you. It's just Instagram is hard for me.
Yeah.
It's really, really difficult to play what's going on there.
Yeah, that's mostly I'm on Instagram. I don't really use
There's Adrian.
Facebook that much. But yeah,
Well,
on the weekends I'll post.
Cool.
Unless if I wake up really hungover and I'm like, I don't want to look, I don't want to do anything, then I won't do it.
Yeah.
But usually, yeah, I'll post as I'll try to look for everybody playing in town. I'll go through Facebook. I'll go through all the Instagram like individual pages and the
Mhm.
venue pages, and I'll gather it all up and put cool. This is for Friday evening, so it makes it easier for people to like, what's going on tonight? Well, let's look at the
Oh yeah.
Got the Local Studios Instagram.
And looks like you have videos of your students that were there that night.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
So you got to go check that out and see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a guitar instructor, take a look at those and take a look at those videos and see what how they all did, because that'll give you a good idea.
Yeah. And it was neat watching the different people. You had a couple of students that it's a father and son that started learning together.
That was so cool. Because we were saying, is that something they just wanted to do together, or how did that come about?
Yeah. He texted me and he's like, "Can we do like me and my son together?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just a 2-for-1." And you come in as it's easier if you guys are at the same level. He's like, "Yeah, I used to know C chord, but that's it." And I was like, "Great, your son's gonna learn it faster than you because the kids,
Easy.
yeah, they just
Yeah.
pick it up and they do great, man. I have a lot of fun with those guys when they come in every Monday. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, let's do this. 'Cause they're hungry,
cool.
man. Yeah,
That is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were jealous of the one kid that came up with the Eddie Van Halen striped guitar.
Yes,
And I was like,
yeah.
what? Because we wanted to do like we do at open mic. And it's like, if somebody brings, like when he brings his Acoustasonic,
Oh God.
he can't go from
man.
the stage to his seat. Everybody, sometimes I was like, we didn't want to freak the kid out. So
yeah, it was his first time, guys. Like, come on, nah.
yeah, I know. We didn't want to freak him out. I was like, I want to go see that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, he was so excited. He's like, "Can I play that one? Can I? I was like, "Sure, let's just set it up
Sure.
so that you take that up on stage. You're not bumping guitars." And
Yeah.
no, he
Mhm.
was really excited about that, and he was standing up playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm gonna stand up with my electric guitar, all pro."
There you go.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Cool," and he just boom, he went for it.
Yeah. They were going back and forth. And I love what his dad had to say, because at one point the kid gives him some and you can see him giving him direction.
Yeah.
And his dad turns around and says, I've been demoted as the head of this band, by the way.
Yeah, it was so funny. We were I was like, okay, I was trying to tell him to count off to do your scales for each pattern, and the father was doing it, but the father would lag on the timing. His rhythm was just falling behind, and the kid's
Mhm.
like, "Dad, like you gotta whatever you're gonna count, that's the tempo." And I was like, "Wow." So I was like, "You know what? You count." I
Uh-huh.
was like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds great. I'll do it." And yeah, it worked out way better that way. So
Yeah.
Cool.
that's so funny, man. They have a good time. For
That's
sure.
great.
No, it was neat watching everybody that was up there. There was different. There was one girl that I saw her post on your Instagram, and yeah, she posted that he put up the the information about the recital, and she posted up and says, "I'm not going to throw up." It's like,
That's
oh.
her. Too
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
So yeah, I
yeah.
actually commented to kind of ease her a little bit, let her know she wasn't alone in that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we talked to her for a while, and she was fine by the time she got up and played. And man, that last song she did, it was tearing at my heartstrings. It was so
Yes,
beautiful.
right? Yeah, so she was really nervous. She's like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna cry, or I'm just gonna freeze. I'm gonna forget everything.
And she didn't at
no,
all.
she did it great. And that last, I told her, I was like, you know what, repeat the song, and don't just go at your own tempo, your own pace.
Yeah.
Don't think you have to play it fast. Don't think you have to play,
No.
and don't think you have to play it loud, because it's gonna carry. And
Yeah, that
she
room
did
was
that
easy to.
perfectly.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a neat
yeah.
room.
She
Yeah.
did that perfectly. So I'm proud of all my students, man. They
That's
did so
great.
good, man.
Oh
There's-
yeah.
And they all
Yeah.
had fun. That's the key.
Mhm.
They all had fun.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
smile that I kept saying the smile that they had when they were done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
was like that.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
And I was watching. Everybody was supporting everybody,
Mhm.
which was very, very
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
At all sorts of different levels. Yeah, I had some really nice things said to me by people
Yeah.
that I was like, wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the parents, the parent and the kid,
Mhm.
they were, they told me, they're like, man, that guy wrote his own songs. Like, already, how long has he been playing? I was like, I mean, not as, I don't know. He's been with me like 8, 10, 12. Has it been a year?
Here's the same
Oh,
question.
Jesus.
Do we count COVID?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know.
I think actual playtime, it's been sitting about a year and a half.
A year.
Well, I think we're getting close to 2 years now.
Is it okay? I wasn't sure if it was over a year.
I'll have to go and take a look, but yeah, I started lessons with you, and 2 months to the day was lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and the neat
So
thing
we had to
was,
freeze.
yeah, you'd gotten me to a point that I was able to kind of move forward with some stuff, and I actually wrote my first song that I played on this show because we didn't have any music guests. I was like, well, okay, so I wrote a song called "Ode to Tiger King."
Yes, I remember that. I was watching.
my
I was like,
God.
oh,
It was
dang, you
so
took that
wrong.
one out.
How many songs do you know that talk about meth in the middle of them? But
Punk genre.
yeah,
Okay, it's been too long.
but-
We got to get him to play another one.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're playing. Okay,
Play
let's
another
do
one.
it, let's do it.
We start talking about meth. We need to play another
I know,
one.
right? Yeah, good. Is it in tune? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys know, I don't know if you guys are aware, but it was on Sunday. A huge, famous, amazing singer, Mexico died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vicente Fernandez.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I was crying.
Yeah, God. And so he died the day that we Mexicans in general, the Mexican religion, they praise the Virgin Mary.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so I don't know, a lot of people were just like I saw a bunch of like paintings, drawings and stuff, or digital graphics of him in heaven singing to her, and it was just like, it was
Oh,
really
wow.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, the Virgin Mary, he's up there now to sing to you every night. And
You want to talk about a superstar? That man was a superstar.
God, yeah.
Globally,
Mhm.
amazing singer and movie star as
Mhm.
well.
Oh yeah, he did it all. He did it all.
By the way, if you've never seen a Vicente Fernandez Western, oh my God, they are so good and so bad
They're
all at the
bad.
same
Yeah,
time.
that's why they're so good, man. Because
Yeah.
they're so bad. You're just like, I can't stop watching it.
Yeah, it was so far beyond spaghetti Western, and
yeah.
and every time anything that he ever sang, he'd open his mouth and he just breaks your heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you can just it just drips all that heartbreak.
That voice
And
that just goes
Yeah.
right to you.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That guy. He's
Yeah.
one of a kind for sure, man.
Yeah.
He'll still live
He's-
on for many.
he's the one. Certain parties at the end of the night, they're playing him, and there's always at least one person there with a bottle, crying
Yeah.
and talking about I miss her and I can't
Yeah,
believe she's
yeah.
gone.
Oh, yeah.
That's
He created that.
yes, he did.
I know, and somebody told me recently, they're like, man, when would you play like a Chente song? Like at the beginning of the party, in the middle, the end. And I thought about it. I was
doesn't
like, all
really
the
matter.
time, man. Like,
Yeah.
you can play at the beginning, it gets
Yeah.
people started. You
Yeah.
can play in the middle and it gets people taking more shots. Or you can play it at the end and people are like,
Yeah.
I love you, man. Like,
Yeah. If
like,
you
it
don't
does-
want to bring it down, you play something like La Derrota, and it's
Oh,
that's
God,
still kind of an up a little bit for him, but it still tears your heart out.
wow.
So
Yeah.
oh yeah, the man was amazing.
That guy, yeah, he's yeah, he's a legend now. He's
Yeah.
he's gonna continue on his music, everything
Oh,
about him.
it's never gonna go away.
Hmm. So I'm gonna play, I guess, one of his songs.
Oh, that'd be
I'm,
great.
I'm all
Yeah.
excited
Great.
now.
uh, have to like hear myself.
Hey, whatever you need to do.
So this song is called Acá Entre Nos. It's a real like,
Hmm.
if you're sober, you'll get drunk, and if you're drunk, you will sober up. So.
Yeah.
There we go. Por presumir a mis amigos les conté que para probarles ninguna pena me aniquila. Para probarles les conté, ups, ninguna pena me aniquila. Les platiqué que me encontré con otro amor, que en sus brazos fui dejando de quererte, que te aborrezco desde el día de tu traición, y te aborrezco que yo te quiero. Acá entre nos, quiero que sepas la verdad. No te ha dejado de adorar allá en mi triste soledad. Me han dado ganas de gritar, salir corriendo y preguntar qué es lo que ha sido de tu vida. Acá entre nos, siempre te voy a recordar. Y hoy que a mi lado ya no estás, no queda más que confesar que ya no puedo soportar, que estoy odiando sin odiar, porque respiro por la herida. Oh, it's been a while, it's been a while. So that's a Chente song, and Chente gets loud.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yes.
funny
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was just reminded of my first wife whenever I played and I'd start singing loud. She, why do you have to sing so loud?
Yeah, it's,
Well, because that's the way it works, son. Sorry.
if you're gonna play Chente, it gets loud. There's no
Oh, yeah.
no.
You can't like what?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I forgot it. I turned my microphone off. So I'm like, yeah, I know if you're doing anything by him, I know I'm at least going to be under my breath
Yeah.
singing along. So I better cut that now. Man, he was amazing.
No, yeah, he was my hero, man. I grew up. If it wasn't for him, like, I don't know, I wouldn't really do so much singing and playing. I just listening and stuff. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, because everybody in the family would sing along, and everybody, whatever party you're at, when you get one person singing Chente, then everybody starts singing, and it's just that to me is just what music's all about. Just
Yeah.
bringing the community, everybody together, and
Mhm.
focusing on the music, the words, your feelings, and whatever. And so Chente, thank you very much.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
for sure, he's a hero of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you don't know any Spanish, still check out his music because
Yeah, you don't have to.
it's gorgeous,
can-
and
yeah.
I guarantee you, you're going to hear it and think, man, this is heartbreaking. I wonder what he's singing about. The words are heartbreaking.
Yeah. You don't want to know. It'll be
you
even
know,
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get drunk if you find
Yeah,
out.
he found his niche and he filled it very well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
No, that
yeah.
guy's amazing. He's accomplished a lot of things, and then his two sons that are amazing singers now.
Oh, yeah.
Alejandro Fernandez and his young. Oh no, actually, Alejandro's son, Alex Fernandez.
Oh yeah.
And he's becoming part of the singing, mariachi scene and stuff like that. So he's growing into that. But yeah, his his son Alejandro Fernandez,
Mhm.
who
He's coming into his own really well.
yeah, oh yeah,
Um,
like he's amazing. He's just getting older and he's not, performing as much, but I think he just finished up his last tour
mhm.
maybe like recently, like 2 months ago or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's also an amazing singer, that
Yeah.
guy's.
And he's neat to watch because everybody screws up, especially with your fans. Everybody does it at some point. Alejandro Fernandez screwed up so badly in El Paso.
Really?
He was not
No.
allowed back for
No
a
way.
long time. He had to go and actually apologize. And his daddy told him, says, this is the way you do this. And
Yeah,
he's like, oh. And once he learned that, he became a totally different performer.
What happened?
He
I don't even know this.
Yeah.
he said some pretty nasty things about El Paso while playing El Paso. Yeah.
And just in general, you don't do that.
If you
Yeah.
want to crack a few jokes that are good-hearted, you can do that. But yeah, you don't trash a town that
city,
yeah.
yeah.
And
they're
you
they're
don't-
paying $50 to $60 a ticket to hear you. And this was back before this 50 and 60 was a lot. Now, yeah, I think he's pulling like 120 a ticket now. It's just insane.
Yeah, you don't do
But
that.
Yeah, his tickets
Yeah,
are
he learned
expensive,
his lesson, and his music got better afterwards.
Yeah.
When everything kind of came back, and yeah, he basically was told, okay, you can come back to El Paso now. So,
Dang, man. No, I didn't know anything about
Mhm.
that.
Mm.
But yeah, my mom and my sister went to go see him in El Paso, August, I think, September,
yeah,
and yeah, tickets were like 120 per person, and
but they're worth it
But
because
he puts
his
on a
show,
great
and it's
show.
not a short show.
Yeah.
He hits it hard and long,
Yeah,
and
he-
plays everything.
puts on a great show. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've
Never-
never seen him perform, nor his dad, and
Mhm.
stuff, but they've
Never got
they've
to
said a bunch of cool stuff.
Never got to see Vicente play live, but I've seen lots of video of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, that guy's smoking. He's drinking his tequila, and he'll go on for hours till like 4 a.m, man. That guy he does
And the-
not care.
And the best thing about his shows is almost every one of his shows where it was more auditorium size, so he could do it. He didn't walk out on stage. No, he came out on horseback.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he's a,
How awesome is that?
he was a king, man. He was
Yeah.
a king. He would he'd walk around. It's like an arena. Not an arena. It's they call it palenque, but yeah, like where you like if you're what the cowboys they call them in arenas, right?
Yeah.
Where they do the bull riding.
Yeah.
And so he'll walk
It's
out
an arena.
an arena, and he'll walk out on his horse, and
like
then
the Haskins Arena. Yeah, it's basically it's done up like a well, they do rodeos there.
yeah. So he'll walk out on his horse and stuff, and then he'll get off. And as he's singing, he walks around, and people are just like, "Come here, shake my hand." And they'll hand him
Yeah.
bottles of tequila.
Yes.
Women will give him roses, like, "Come here," and he'll kiss like as many as he can, like
Mhm.
on the mouth and everything. And he's still singing. "Mwah, na, 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 mwah, mwah." He's like, "Give me that bottle." Okay.
And
He's just he's
and
like a
women-
rock
and
star.
women
man.
of all ages
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
there in
Oh, yeah.
tears.
That is-
Oh yeah, they're crying. They're just like, ah. It's amazing, man. Like
From his 20s to the end of his career,
Mhm.
sex symbol the
Yeah.
whole time.
That is funny.
Oh yeah.
Can you even imagine? There's so few that actually qualify that way.
I mean, I've seen so many interviews, videos, stuff like him just in person, like live, and you don't see him without a smile. He's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that guy's just like perma smile, just like, yeah, life is great. Life is awesome.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing what he loves. He's getting paid a lot to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, how great is that?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
I got a message from Katie on here, by the way. But apparently, when you were talking about putting up stuff on your Instagram about different artists, and she says, "And the local artists, thank you." So
Yes, that's cool.
that's good for you to know that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I love being. I feel like I'm part of this community now, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, and then the support is
Yeah.
cool. And Katie's another one that's
Yeah.
doing that with her podcast right.
Yeah.
Well, even before the podcast, she was sitting there and supporting musicians every chance she got. She's great that way.
Heck yeah, for sure.
And awesome performer in her own right. I miss
Oh,
hearing
yeah.
her.
So besides the lessons, what are you doing musically nowadays?
Okay, so I do my lessons. That's my bread and butter.
Mhm.
And I do the open mic at Little Toad
Mhm.
every Wednesday, 8 to 11. And then I'm in 3 bands. The Cosmic Strays.
And what is that? What kind of music?
So the Cosmic Strays does like I don't know. I feel like it's more like just like rock, old school rock, and I'm new to this term, but like outlaw
Okay.
country, some stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we've talked
Oh,
about some of
yeah.
that. They're the ones
yeah.
that are doing stuff like the one guy does Culture Wall.
Yes, yeah, we
Yeah.
cover
Okay.
one of his songs, and there's another artist that kind of has that similar style.
Hmm.
So we kind of, yeah, we do like that outlaw stuff, and some old rock songs. Some also like '90s music.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's a mix of all kinds of music. But the best way I could explain it to give you a feel of what it is, it's just like, yeah, like old school rock and some
Mm-hmm.
outlaw stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, and I play bass in that band,
Okay.
which is it's fun, man.
Mm.
I've man, bass is such a cool instrument.
Yeah.
You just have to love it. Like if you don't like it, it won't come out that good, right? So you have to like it.
Yeah.
It's a cool instrument. I I fell in love with bass when I played the guitarrón mariachi. So
Mm.
Hmm.
that just gave me like the foundation of keeping that foundation, the steady beat. So yeah, I play bass on that, and then the other band is the Cast House band, which is like heavy
Yeah.
blues guitar, and
Mm.
I'm just like the rhythm guitars.
Mhm.
Just trying to learn from Jonathan Minez because he's a beast.
Mm.
Yeah. And you were
Uh,
playing with them at the coffee shop this weekend.
yeah, we actually played at Little Toad on Friday night. We shared the
Mhm.
set with Love and the Emotions.
Okay.
Mm.
That's a very cool band. You guys gotta check them out. And then so we did the later set from like 11 to 12:20. And then Saturday we played at the Blues Coffee Shop. We played there
Mhm.
for an hour to, support the fundraising and all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other band, which is my band, is Juana's Revenge. And it's just Latin music, and I'm just kind of all
Mm.
over the place with that. I'm finding a lot of like Colombian artists that I'm like, well, that sounds cool, and
Mm.
we'll learn that. A
Hmm.
little bit of Caribbean, um, and of course like old school Mexican alternative rock songs and stuff, and
Mm.
then some cumbias. So it's a
Cool.
mix of a lot of stuff. We've only had like 2 gigs, but I'm just trying to build up the repertoire to 2 hours,
Mm.
and so once you have 2 hours, it's
Yeah.
easier to do a gig and have somebody open for you like a 45-minute set. Cool, and then we'll finish out two
Yeah.
Cool.
hours so yeah, that's we're just picking up on that, and yeah, trying to memorize our stuff. It's a lot of work, man.
Man,
It's
Oh
I
yeah.
have such a problem memorizing songs.
yeah, I'm there with you.
Yeah.
So
That's why I
yeah,
still have to have my book with me. I go to open mic for a while. It was like I'm doing the same songs over and over again. And I looked at Dwight and I said, "Can I bring my book?" And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead."
yeah. No, it takes me like 3 gigs to finally memorize a song.
Oh man, there's songs I've been doing for a year and I
my
still can't
God.
memorize them.
It's really hard. I played 3 gigs before I get it memorized.
Yeah, yeah,
Poor,
right.
poor baby. I've got stuff I've been playing since I started that I still don't have. It's some of the stuff that I've written I don't know.
No, it's I don't know. It's
The other day I was practicing. I have a guitar in my studio, in my nail studio, and I picked it
Mhm.
up and I started playing. And I realized I was thinking one song but playing another. I was like, I gotta get my.
wow. Are you serious?
I was
Yeah,
thinking
you
I'm gonna play this, and
you
I'm
got
sitting there
'em
going,
like,
"That's not the right song."
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I got it all
goodness.
mixed up.
Oh wow.
So I was like, "Oh, never mind."
No,
I'll play-
I'm the type of person who I'll grab the guitar and I'm just like, what do I know? What do I do?
Yeah.
Like what? And I just my mind goes
Yeah.
blank, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I see you've got different performers. Some of them that, yeah, here's my set list. Here's what I'm going to be playing when I get up.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
other people. It's like, let's see what
That's just,
what I feel like.
I know. I
And
envy those guys, man.
Yeah.
I've got
Awesome.
I tend to run that way right now because I don't have that many songs. So
Yeah. We'll wait till it's been years and years of playing, and you've played over 200 songs, and you're just like, what
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
do?
well, you'll see me up there at open mic. There's times that I've got my tablet open and I just start flipping through. Yeah, I'll do that one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. I know, man. Memorizing lyrics
Yeah.
is like,
Oh yeah.
I'm more the music guy. Like I could play a song once. I'm like, oh, it's easy. There's this
Yeah.
progression and the chorus, that progression. Oh, I got it. Whatever.
That's where your head
And
is.
then-
Yeah.
yeah. But
My wife got mad at me the other day because we were in the car and a song came on from like the 70s and we were both singing in the car and she looks at me and goes, that you can remember, but you can't memorize Wonderful Tonight because
Yeah.
that's her favorite song.
Yeah.
She always tells me,
no.
play Wonderful Tonight. And I'm like, I don't have it memorized. She's like, so she keeps telling me to that you can remember, but you won't
Well,
remember.
And the thing is, I'll tell you right now, singing a song along with the radio
Yeah.
is not the same
It's
as having
not,
it memorized.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
sitting there going, but the thing is, this song was from like the 70s
Yeah.
that I hadn't heard in a good 20 years. And all of a sudden I look and I go, whoa, I remember this.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
turn the
no.
music off. Try
That's true.
and sing it without
Yeah.
somebody else
On
singing
your
along
own.
with you.
Oh, I know.
And all of a sudden, you don't know it as well as you thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good with the cues,
God,
the musical cues.
I used to be so good to just on the spot, like, okay, I'll start with the first word, and then
Mhm.
boom, the
Yeah.
verse would just appear in my brain. I'm like, cool. Then
Oh yeah.
the first word of the second verse, and like, cool. So then I'll just even make up a word, and boom, everything pops up, and I'm like, I got this.
hmm
But I don't know. I guess I drink too much tequila,
Or not enough.
or not enough.
See, I have another excuse. I do nails all day long, and that acrylic smell,
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can't smell it anymore.
Okay.
Wow.
We're gonna
And
have
so
to-
that's
burn
like,
your,
you know,
burn your,
it just
your
burned me out.
nose
So I'm
hairs,
like, maybe that's why I can't memorize any
Yeah.
songs anymore.
we're gonna have to do an after hours roundtable.
I know. Yes,
Yeah.
we gotta do that.
I know, right?
We'll just pull out the bottles and
That's
yeah.
when the show starts. That's when it begins.
Oh yeah. I'll pull up my my shakers and start mixing some drinks too.
Oh dang.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Well, it's
I was
it's becoming to be a Saturday for me.
One of the
Yeah,
first
why not?
the first band I played in, we'd always say, hey, you know, take care of your bartender and your waitresses and keep drinking up because the more you drink, the better we sound.
Yeah. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did want to bring up is the fact that as an instructor, anybody who's looking for an instructor, I can't recommend you enough. This guy, as far as the way he's been treating me, if I get comfortable, it doesn't take long, and he turns the screws.
That's what any good teacher does. They're just waiting, like,
Yeah.
you seem a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
Let's do this instead. Yeah.
Yeah, as I've been writing music and figuring out how to do that, I've been relying a lot on the circle of fifths, which took me a bit because I didn't understand what it was. I'd sit there and okay, and we had a lesson where you went through some of that, and then I sat there and just worked it in my head until I understood what the hell that was all about. And as of this last week's lesson, you changed all that up.
I mean, that wasn't my intention, but okay, that worked.
You stepped it up to a much more complex place. And we're part of the lesson is we're working on a song
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
which is going to be interesting because I've never done any writing of any kind with anybody before.
Right.
So I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to work. So let's just do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've given me a homework assignment to come up with a chord progression to begin with, and so some basic stuff to go with it as we go along. And you don't let me rest on my laurels for long, and things change, and I think that's cool. But
If I don't get to rest, nobody.
Yeah.
does.
and you're also really flexible because you had a lesson in mind at one point, and I walked into class and says, but by the way, I just finished this new song, and that lesson got put on the back burner for a week.
Yeah.
And you said, okay, let's pull out the song, let's start working on that, let's see
Yeah.
what you got. And that was the roulette radio, which before you came in, I played that for the first time on this show. So
No way. This
Yeah,
morning.
he played it for us a couple weeks ago. He said after we cut off the air, he goes,
Yeah,
"Let me play
I
this for you real quick."
waited till the cameras were off.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
just to get their feel for he was here with Leon Garner, and to get their feel because they come from similar but different musical positions. So that was really helpful.
That's cool.
And and that was a song that if it wasn't for your classes, I'd never be there. And I didn't know that I didn't know if I'd be there or if I'd get to a point it's like, I'm so frustrated, I'm gonna quit. And I've never felt that way for long at a time, longer than a day. And usually about the time we have a lesson, whatever I'm feeling, it goes away by the time we're done.
Cool.
So
cool.
I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not sitting there trying to inflate your ego or anything.
Yeah, no.
The way that you teach, anybody would be lucky to have you as a teacher, and I feel really lucky.
Cool. Thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, it's
and the fact that you said, I've been doing this about 3 years, I was like, what?
yeah. No, yeah, it's been my first student which you guys saw, he performed. He was the last one that performed with me,
Yeah.
Leo. Uh, he was my first student, and it was just so funny. He was 10 years old, 10 years, 9 going
Yeah.
on 10,
Ooh,
and
that'll give you a wake up call, won't it?
well, I mean, I was just like, I don't know what to do. So he was my guinea pig. And I went through basically my structure of like class structure and long-term structure, blah, blah, blah. I went through it with him. And it's so cool now because now it's just, he understands me. He knows what my style was and this and that and who I was
Hmm.
trying to become. And now we just kind of like freestyle
Yeah.
in class. Like he comes to lesson and like, so what did you learn? Did you pick up something? Any new music? And he's like, well, this song's pretty cool. And I'll play it. And I'm like, okay, let's work on the bass line first. Like, yeah, that's great. And
Hmm.
we'll pick that up. And I'm like, cool, I'll do the rhythm. What do you think? And then we'll jam out. And then I'm like, cool, now let me teach you the rhythm and I'll do the bass line. And then we just kind of have a good time and he
Oh
loves
yeah.
it. I love it. And it's just like I feel very comfortable with him now. But man, that was the first year I was like, all right, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? Does he like it? Like, is he having fun? Oh, there's so many questions I had to ask myself. So going through that with him now it makes everything easier with all my other students. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
And I can't stress enough of the fact that each student you adapt with them.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is the biggest thing that I
Mhm.
caught from that, and I think that is just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're all, they're all coming in with
Yeah.
different ideas of what music
Mhm.
Because
is.
it keeps them, because it keeps them motivated. Because like
Mhm.
when I was the 2 times I started up again, when I was 8, I started and I got bored.
Yeah.
And then the next time
Yeah.
I started up, I got bored. And
Yeah.
it was like when I decided, okay, I'm just going to learn these chords. And then I started picking up songs that had chords because I don't play leads. I just strum
Mhm.
because I'm a singer that also plays guitar. But I
Yeah.
find that I'm expanding because, oh, there's a chord I can't do. So I just skip songs like, oh, can't do that chord. So I'll skip this song.
Yeah,
But now
yeah,
I'm going back going, oh, I could try that.
yeah.
Mhm.
You just got to, you keep them interested. And you can
Yeah.
tell by the look on their face when they were done. Like I can't. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And you could
Yes.
tell it was the ones that it was their first time up there by their reaction after it was over and the applause,
Yeah.
because yeah, that's kind of like a little shot of happy right in
Yeah.
your arm.
Oh, yeah.
And not
Oh, yeah. It's
only
like,
the look on their face when they were done, the look on his face
Oh God,
when they were
yes,
done. That was the other thing. I was like,
that
wow, he
that was
really.
all
That's
proud Papa right
oh,
there.
yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
definitely it.
Every time. It's like, yeah, like get it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you were introducing all the students, and you were sitting there
Yeah.
just talking them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more than just yeah, this is my job and this is what I do. It was
So,
obviously so much more than that.
so
Yeah.
if someone wants to get started with you, how do they get a hold of you?
I mean, my phone number or which I mean, through El Gato Loco Studios
There we go.
Mhm.
or my personal handle at Dam Luna DAMLUNA and then
Mhm.
underscore at the end. Even Facebook, people have
Yeah,
messaged me on Facebook.
that's where I got a hold of you.
Cool.
Was it through Facebook? Yeah,
Mhm.
Messenger. Yeah, I get a lot of people on Messenger. Yeah, just the internet. I don't have a website or anything, but they find me. I
Mhm.
posted up flyers all over coffee shops and stuff
Yeah.
all over town, and they'll text me, send me a message, or just different ways. And yeah, I'll get them started as soon as I can, and we'll
Great.
just go from there. The hardest part is just fitting them in the schedule that
Yeah.
from their work schedule and my certain hours of the day and stuff. And so I used to only do Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday,
Yeah.
right? And I would stack up all my students on those days. But
Yeah.
but now I'm just like I spread them out from Monday through Friday now. So I feel like I have like a real job.
There you go.
Mhm.
I was like, no days off, dang it. But it's cool though.
Yeah.
It's more spread out. So I'll have like one day I'll have two, the next day I'll have 3 to 4, and then the next day maybe two or something like that.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's I have a lot of fun. It's and I write my own, like I write the arrangements for them,
Mhm.
and so that is probably the most challenging part of my job because I have to set time aside about maybe a couple hours depending on how hard the song is, but I have to learn the song, pick it out by ear, and figure out it's in a good key that they could play the chords in, right? Because if
Mhm.
there's a
Right.
bar chord, then I'm like, they're not there yet. So I'll
Mhm.
Mhm.
switch it to another key where it's just C, G. No,
Right.
not C, G, because C, G, and F.
Right.
1, 4, 5. So I'll do like A, D, and E, right? So on the key of A, and then I'll transpose it to the key of A. There's no bar chords, and it's easy and easy enough for them, challenging enough. And then I'll write it out and then cool. And then after I'm done writing it out, I'm so excited to like present it to them. Like,
That's
check
cool.
it out. I have this song for you. And they're just like, all right, what does it sound like? And I'll play and they're like, yeah, let's learn it. I'm like, yes, cool. That's that. Then it's all like downhill from there. I can teach
That's
it to them, no
cool.
problem. My
Yeah.
personality gets along with theirs, and it's
And
yeah,
they're more
it's-
likely to practice because I remember being
Mhm.
I hated
Mhm.
practicing because it was so boring.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
They're
the
more
song didn't
likely to-
relate to you.
yeah.
Or, you're just like, it's out of a book and it's
Yeah.
2 lines. Like, this is easy. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
And one of the first things that you told me is you're going to get out of this whatever you put into it.
Mhm.
And the thing is, it wasn't a case of, yeah, you've got to work hard. You bring it to the level
Mhm.
of your students, however much they're putting in, you're putting it right back at them.
Mhm.
So it's why you see growth in your students like
Mhm.
crazy. That
Mhm.
it's
That is, and that's
Yeah.
just with everything because I taught IT at Vista, and I remember looking at students, and I'm like, this one is jazzed. This one wants to learn. This one, he's not
Yeah.
going to last 2 weeks. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that hard to learn IT.
No.
IT is real easy to learn. All you got to learn when you pick up the phone. You gotta listen to their problem, and you don't have to pay attention to what it is. As soon as they finish, you say, "Have you tried turning it on and off and on again?" And then you hang up the phone.
Yeah, right.
That's IT.
It's that
I
simple,
worked-
yeah.
I worked at an IT services company, and the receptionist knew nothing about the computer fixing everything. But she had been working there for like 6 months, and she goes, "Well," we hear her go, "Have you tried restarting the machine?"
Oh my god.
And a couple of us went, "What?" And she goes, "Okay, hold on." And all of a sudden, she goes, "Okay, great.
It
Well, give
works,
us a
yeah.
call if you have another problem." She goes, "I fixed one."
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I did when I used to do IT at NMSU, and there was one guy on the phone. Nothing's working. We'll try turning it off and on again and see what that does. It won't even turn on and off. I can't get anything on. I can't get the screen to come on. I can't get the computer to do anything. And I says, could you look down and see if the machine is plugged in? And I was like, I know this is going to end badly. And she starts yelling at me. How stupid do you think I am?
Oh,
And she gets really upset and she hangs up on me. And my phone rings about a minute later, and she says, "I'm really sorry. My machine was
you were
unplugged."
Right.
And she says, "I don't know. I guess I unplugged it somehow." And I says, "No. Very light." And I gave her out. I says,
yeah.
"Very likely," says, "you've got custodial people coming through and cleaning. Very
That
likely when
happens all
somebody
the
was
time.
sweeping, chances are she did something." But you make them feel better about it no matter what. But
My favorite was the one where I read one where the guy was complaining about how it wouldn't turn on and wouldn't turn on. He couldn't get it to come on. And they go, "Well, can you look in the back?" And he goes, "Well, I can." He goes, "Can you shine a light back there?" And he goes, "Well, I can't. There's a power outage, so I can't get the lights to go on."
Uh-huh.
And he goes, and the guy literally goes, "Oh, I know what the problem is. Do you have the boxes that it came in?" And he goes, "Oh, is it that bad?" And he goes, "Yeah, pack it up, take it back to the place and tell them you're too stupid to own a computer." He got fired for that.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Oh my.
We've all had that
That's a
moment.
good story though.
Oh, got hundreds of
You
them.
get
I did
fired.
IT.
Well.
I did IT for most of my adult life, and there's a lot of ones that
Oh God,
I
yeah.
need a new keyboard. Why? Well, my mother is visiting, and she noticed my keyboard was dirty, so she put it in the dishwasher.
Oh no. Oh no.
Looking like that.
Water electronics. They don't mix.
No.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can get away with that with a lot of keyboards.
Yeah,
I've done
nowadays.
it. I've washed a keyboard in the dishwasher before.
Really?
Now, you better know a couple of things because
Yeah,
you've
put it in
also then got to take it apart,
Oh,
dry
God, no,
everything, and then put it back together.
No,
Not so easy.
During the
no.
earthquake, the big earthquake in '96 in LA, I had someone said my computer was underwater. Is there any way to save it? And I'm like, well,
Ugh.
so he stuck it in the sun,
Mhm.
uncovered it for 3 days. He'd leave it out in the sun.
Whatever you do, you don't
And
turn it
then
on.
I said, don't turn it on yet. And he did that for like 4 days.
Mhm.
And then he can turn it on and work perfectly because the
No.
power went out before the room flooded.
Yeah.
So I said, if the power went out before and sure enough, thing worked perfectly.
Wow,
He just
really?
waited until it was completely dry because there's nothing wrong with it when it's wet. It's
Mhm.
just when you turn it on.
Oh,
Yeah, you get these
that makes
sparks that
sense.
fries
yeah,
everything.
that's when the
Yeah.
sparks go off. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
So wow, we went on a tangent there.
So,
right.
yeah.
Computers.
With computers, you don't want sparks. With music,
No.
you do want
Yes.
sparks.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So-
definitely.
How
yeah.
many times have you had have somebody that you look at and you're like, oh, that guitar needs help, and you're like, they're not taking care of it, and it's like you have to rescue it.
I mean, not with my students.
Yeah, but no, throughout your career,
But,
somebody has
yeah.
done that.
I was looking at your
Oh,
students'
gosh.
guitars. They're all
They're
beautiful.
nice.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also give the service of like, we'll change the strings, we'll polish it up, you know,
Yeah,
we'll
Yes.
scratch
show
the
them how to do
fretboard.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll do a whole lesson.
Yeah.
I had that lesson, and I've started changing on a couple since then because that makes sense now.
Mhm.
But you
Yeah.
wouldn't know if you don't do it. the
Yeah,
first
you
time.
appreciate your guitar more, and you're like,
Yeah.
cool, like,
Yeah.
you know, you feel more comfortable with it. But yeah, man, I've seen some. Gosh,
I had a friend who said, "Oh, I was going to borrow a rake from her, and I go into her shed, and there's an acoustic guitar sitting there."
Mhm.
And I go, well, "What's that?" And she goes, "Oh, we got that for the thing at church that we're going to be, said that donated for the church." And I'm sitting there going, "You can't leave it in here.
No.
It was in her outside in her shed." I was like,
Mhm.
"No." So I grabbed
No,
it, took
you
it
just
home,
wanna
got it.
save it, right? Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
grabbed, said, "It's with me now."
Yeah, I didn't know. One of my cousins in Chihuahua, they had this old guitar that belonged to my grandpa, I guess, and he just passed it down to grandson, my cousin. And I looked under his bed. I was like, "You have this guitar here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And I pulled it out. I was all dusty, and there was even a crack at the back. And I was like,
Hey.
immediately like, "Let's go get some guitar strings. I need some oil, like this and that." And he's like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I'm gonna try to revive it, man.
Yeah,
This
I
thing's
gotta
like,
save this
it's
thing."
Yeah.
alive, yeah." And then so polished it up, changed the strings, and it still sounded great. It just didn't resonate because of the
Yeah.
crack.
Mhm.
But I was like, "All right, so this is like you just practice at your home,
Yeah.
like kind of guitar." And well, do you just want it? Because I don't like you already took care of it. And I was like, "Yeah, yes, please." And no,
Mhm.
it gets worse.
Oh
I
no.
bring it home, and my brother's asking me, he owns a tattoo shop, and he was like, "Do you have like an old guitar I could like hang up at the shop and just so I could practice?" And I was like, "Well, actually, yeah, this is our grandfather's. Like,
Mhm.
we'd always go visit him in Mexico, and this is the one hanging in his room." He's like, "Wow, cool." I was like, "Cool, just take care of it. I fix it up. She's good. She just has a little crack." And he's like,
Mhm.
"Okay." And he puts like glue in the bag, not even wood glue. Yeah, puts it back,
Oh no.
and then he starts sanding it down. He realizes, well, I have to sand down the whole guitar, and he sands it all down.
Yes.
Yeah, and the wood becomes fragile, and it's just like, and he leaves it like out in this cold shop all day, every day. So it's just like,
It's sitting there.
Drying
Yeah.
oh
out.
yes, it's just
Oh,
getting,
no.
it's just turning old and bad. And then all of a sudden he drops it and it breaks, and I'm like, "What did you do? Why, man? Like this is all our fathers, like our abuelo's guitar. ¿Qué
Yeah.
te pasa?" And he was just like, "It just happened." I'm like, never again, never again,
Yeah.
never. I never gave him an instrument. Never. No, he has his own instruments now. He's cool. No, man. After that, like, no.
I
Eh.
was visiting a friend one time, and she looks at me and goes, "I want to show you something." She goes, "Nobody ever gets to see this." It was her dad's guitar. Her dad was an entertainer back in the day, and it was this Fender Firebird. And I looked and I went, "Oh my gosh!" And I was afraid to touch it. And she goes, "I'm gonna let you touch it." She goes, "Nobody ever gets to see this thing. It's in a case. It's in her closet in a safe place. She doesn't ever bring it out because that is so near and dear to her. But she let
The
me touch
suspense
it,
is
and I was like,
building.
"Oh my gosh!"
And
I
those
got to
are
play it a
those are
little bit.
rare. You don't
And I
see
was like
those.
so careful with
Yeah.
it because that meant the world to her. So
Oh,
she was like,
gosh.
it was neat to hear it played.
Mhm.
She said it was neat to hear it played. So then she put it back.
Oh yeah, right
I
away.
put it
Yeah.
away. She put it
Oh,
right back in
yeah.
the closet, right back where it belonged.
I know. I know when
that was neat to see.
people present me the opportunity, like, check this
Yeah.
out. Like, this is, this is expensive. I've had it here. This, or it's passed down. I'm just like, cool. What do you want me to do with it? Because I don't want to touch
Yeah,
it.
no.
Like, because like I'm pretty rough with my stuff. If I scratch, I'm like, I don't care. Or if it's a regular
Exactly.
guitar, then I'm like, yeah, it's gonna get scratched, whatever. But
Mhm.
if you're telling me you're pulling it out of this case and it's been locked up, or you're saving it, or it's been passed down, like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna touch it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a little nervous.
Mm.
I kind of make a point anytime anybody's like, "Yeah, I don't have a guitar," especially if I got my Acoustasonic. I was like, "You want to play mine?" And they're like,
Yeah.
they don't want. They freak out. I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to touch that.
Yeah.
I know how much those things cost. It's like, yeah, I didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah.
And quite frankly,
Makes it more valuable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, they are on sale at Sweetwater right now. If you want to get an Acoustasonic, $400 off.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
brings it down to
whoa.
what, 2,000?
16.
1,600. Okay, yeah.
Shitty, man.
But,
I wanted a Les Paul because I thought that would look really cool. I wanted the sound of it and everything, the mahogany body, and I was like, yeah, I'm not paying 800. There's no way I'm going to justify spending $800.
Yeah.
Well, then I bought a kit and I
build it
put it
yourself,
together,
yeah.
and I use that thing all the time.
Oh yeah.
That is my baby because it's all mahogany,
Mhm.
and it's got these decent pickups, and I love that thing.
Nice.
It's got a
Nice.
really
I have
good
a
sound.
Music Man Axis from '94, the Eddie Van Halen model after he moved on, but it's like it looks like the Eddie Van Halen model, but it's like I have that one that I paid almost 2,000 or 1,300 for back in '98, and yet
Oh
I
yeah.
don't use that all
You
day.
don't play
I
it.
still,
Yeah.
I'll pull it down, I'll play it, and
Yeah.
but I like the way the Les Paul, my cheap it cost me $175 by the time I was done.
Yeah.
Dang.
And see, for me, I just like hearing different people play a guitar because
Yeah.
everybody's different.
And
we
everybody
were-
has a different reason for playing the guitar they play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we were at the open mic at Little Toad, and Kevin Vance was out. He's been on the show
Mhm.
before, and he was out, but he didn't bring his guitar. And I was like, "You want to borrow mine?" And he understood it's not a Fender. The settings don't work the same as an S type
No.
guitar because it's not an S type.
It's not.
Acoustasonic is something very different. So he didn't touch any of the settings from where I'd had it. And he starts playing that, and it sounds like a completely different guitar from the way I was playing it because his playing is so
Yeah.
totally different.
Different style, yeah.
And I was just mesmerized watching this. So yeah, and you've played it, which
Yeah.
I think is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I hooked it up to my Vox,
Mhm.
and
Oh.
yeah,
I love that amp.
that
That's
little,
an
that,
awesome
yeah, I
amp.
love that little
That
thing.
is a
It's small and it's
classic.
like it's tough. It can do whatever
It's
you
got a
want.
warm, beautiful sound.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do like a special show
Yeah.
one of these days where we just have everybody bring in a bunch of almost like a show
Yeah.
and tell. Bring in your equipment, and we're gonna have a show on like amplifiers, and everybody
There
bring in
you
their
go.
amps. 'Cause
I feel like I have too much equipment. I got 3 amazing amps that I'm just like
Yes,
in
you do.
love
Yeah.
with. I'm in love with them.
yeah,
Yeah. Although I tried using the orange amp for the heavy blues band, which you would think
Mhm.
like perfect, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't really. I'm not digging the tone, and then
Huh.
I'm really struggling to find that perfect like balance of
Right.
everything. And I was just like, I don't like it. So when we played Friday, I was planning on taking the orange, but I ended up taking my Fender. It's a Fender. No. I forgot which one it is. Deluxe.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Deluxe, yeah, Blues Deluxe. And that thing is like,
Oh.
that's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that amp, the
Yeah.
tone on it. And I even asked my buddy, I was like, what do you think about this amp? He's like, I like that a lot better.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just got to get used to my orange. Like,
yeah. Well, the settings are very different from other amps.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because that's a very old school.
Mhm.
This is not a modern orange that you got a hold of. This is the old school.
Yeah.
What
I forget the model. It's
Yeah. It was like late 70s or early 80s. This one,
an
so
old one.
it's an
yeah.
older one.
All tube. Yeah. God,
Yeah.
she's gorgeous.
I have a Line 6 FX100, and it is amp modeling. So I sit there, sit there, and I just choose different amps.
Yeah.
And you say, no, that didn't sound good. No, that didn't sound good. No,
Yeah.
that didn't sound good.
That's the way my Fender is.
Yeah.
My GT50, I think it is. Same sort of thing. It's got all the modeling in there. So
Yeah.
you just click on whatever effect you want, and there you go. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's like I have like 3 different effects on it, and I'm using all these. And I look, and it's like if I bought all this stuff, it'd be like $10,000.
So good.
And
yeah.
I remember,
Oh yeah.
but I
So
have
much
this
money.
one unit, so I have one cable going into my PA from there. Then I
Mhm.
have my guitar going into that, and then I have my mic cables, 3 cables. I watch Sage Gentlewing comes up and looks at my setup, and because I remember watching him one time, and we go, and
he's
I'm talking to him
nuts with the way he
afterwards.
sets up.
He's wrapping up. I lost count of how many cables he
Mhm.
wrapped up,
Yeah.
and he stares at. He goes, I like the simplicity of your setup. And he just stared at it for the longest time. And I was like, what? He goes, but there's no way he can do that. He is
No.
that kind of guy
Yeah.
that has his sound.
Mhm.
And it's like the cables are all routed a certain way. And he couldn't, he's like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Because then I showed him how I set up my sounds, because you got to go on an app on my tablet. And he goes, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody has their certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guitar players, they get they start out and they get every effect that they can and
Mhm.
turn them all on,
Yeah.
and then they
Yes.
start paring down.
Yeah.
Because
You
then
know-
they get down to like, oh, I'm gonna throw them all in there.
You know, lately I've been going old school. I'm just like, I just want whatever my amp can give me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just if I want the dirty, I'll use the dirty. If I want the clean, if it has reverb, I'll use it.
Right.
But I don't really, I don't know. I just kind of stop with effect pedals and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like I used to like want to buy this effect, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
and that's the way guitar players are. And they start
Mhm.
out, they figure they got to throw everything in there, and then they
Everything,
start
yeah.
paring
Oh,
it down.
exactly.
It's so addictive looking at all the toys that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And,
It's like I have my setup. I have chorus phase, and then I have some delay, but the phase is so subtle. It's very small. I noticed the difference. My wife looks at it. She goes, "What's the difference?" I'm like, to me, I can tell because it helps warm up the sound.
Oh yeah.
But then again, if I could play long enough, I just use my Ovation the whole time. It's hard to play the acoustic for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I had my folks.
I hear you on that.
My folks came over when I first got my Fender Acoustasonic, and they're like, "Oh, we want to hear what the big deal is with this thing." I was like,
Like, it's
"Okay." So I'm like, "Okay, so here's this setting, and this is a Sitka mahogany, a dreadnought,
God, yeah.
and it says, and this setting here, and it's for I think it was a concert guitar, and I'm sitting there playing it, and like, it sounds the same.
Yeah,
we can't tell the
yeah.
difference.
Well, I'm lucky because my wife also was a singer. She sang a lot during, her when she was growing up. She took lessons and did a lot of singing. She had terrible stage fright, so she stopped.
Mhm.
But when I got the Washburn, because I went to Guitar Center and my granddaughter said, "Grandpa, play one." And I'm, all right, so I picked up this one. I started playing and went, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is
right
cool."
away.
Which,
So
by the
my-
way, I think that is the most
Yeah.
prolific guitar in Las Cruces,
I
because
know.
sitting here in this room, you have 3 people
Yeah.
who own one of
Yeah.
these.
Because it's such a, and my wife, when
That's too funny.
Isn't
because
it
my wife
great?
ordered it and gave it to me, and she looked and she goes, and because she paid for it, and she was like, "Okay, this is, it'll just." She thought, "Okay, he just wants a cheap practice guitar," which I kind of thought of
Yeah.
at first,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but then she heard me play and she goes, "Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that sounds good."
It's got, it rings so nice. That's what I was playing at the recital,
Yeah.
and
It sounded so good.
because of the room, I was like, okay, so I wasn't actually banging it out like I will at some other stuff. I was really holding back and keeping my volume under control, because I would be hurting people in that room.
It's
Um,
loud, man.
Because that thing, you start hitting it hard and the sound is just
It's beautiful.
so
though,
beautiful,
yeah.
but so
it's
intense.
A full, like,
Yeah.
all around sound.
Now I'm partial to Ovations. I have an Ovation with a really shallow bowl,
Mhm.
and when you play it, it sounds kind of cheap. But when you plug it in,
Oh yeah.
I used to play it through a Marshall.
Oh yeah.
When I was with the band, I played it with the clean channel Marshall, and it was
Crazy.
so nice.
Huh.
And now I have another Ovation that has the medium size, and that one I use on stage all the time because it just has a
Cool.
sound I love, and I love to just play that the whole time. Just my hand can't handle it.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
But yeah, it's like, and we always talk about, when you go to look for a guitar, it's a personal preference.
Mhm.
What's the best
Mhm.
guitar? The one you feel
one that-
comfortable
yeah,
with.
Yes.
I know it's so hard to explain to my students. Like,
Yeah.
so I wanna buy, like, because they'll start off and some of them will rent a guitar from me, or they're
Mhm.
using their dad's, or something. They're like, I want to buy my own. Like, what can you tell me? And I'm like, Jesus, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You
Like,
go to Hubbard's and you sit down and you
Yeah.
start grabbing
Just-
guitars
yeah.
and keep playing.
Don't look at the prices.
Or you
Yeah.
really
just-
hurt yourself and you go to Guitar Center.
Oh,
And,
God,
oh my
yeah.
God. Be ready to spend the whole day there.
Yeah.
Oh my
You buy
God.
amps, you buy PA, you buy guitar there.
Yeah.
I'll buy a drum kit.
I was in El Paso one time and my wife's like, "Well, you have an hour to waste. What are you gonna do?" And I'll go to
I'm
Guitar
going to-
Center.
yeah,
She goes,
yeah.
"Keep an eye on your phone. Make sure you leave in time."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here,
But-
hold on to my credit card.
But yeah, it's not a case of this is better than that, because
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people that play the electrics, and they really like the Telecasters. They can't stand the Strats. I have a preference on those
Mhm.
types. I prefer the Strat, and the
Vice
Telecaster
versa, yeah.
feels weird to me.
It did. I remember
Yeah, I
Jaffe
can't
made me
play
play
that.
his, and I was like, "I can't play this." It was weird. I was
Yeah, you've never liked
Yeah.
Anything Fender,
not a
really,
Fender.
except
That's
for
where I'm at.
except
Oh,
that you
Gibson
played
all the
my
way.
you played
But
my
his acoustic
Acoustasonic.
Sonic is different.
Yeah,
It's
that
very
one-
different.
That one's cool. I like
Yeah.
that guitar.
But I like the feel. I've got that. I've got an electric a Strat knockoff, and I like the feel of that. The Telecaster feels, I don't know, almost backwards. It's got a strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't get people that normally like both of those. I'm building a Gibson style,
Yeah.
and I don't know how that'll work, because I've handled Gibsons before, and it's like they don't feel all that great. But this is one of the large body things, so maybe that'll come across different. But
It started with me
Yeah.
when I went to Missouri to visit, and the guitar player that I used to jam with at in church, who would play in the praise and worship team, and he also has a rock band. And I went over to his house and he let me. And I looked at this. He had this beautiful Les Paul, huge mahogany. The thing's
I
heavy.
love those.
And when he plays it, he looks like Stephen Clark. I mean, he had long blonde hair, thin guitar way down here, plays it like a beast. And I looked at him, I go, "Can I?" And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead, man." I was like, "Are you sure?" Because it's got a custom graphics on it and everything, and it's a Les Paul special. And I look at it, I pick it up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want one of these."
Yeah.
And then you see how much they are, and it's like, that's not going to happen. So I built mine.
And
nice. Yeah.
That's how I got mine. I got a kit for $150, and it cost me $25 for all the paint and sandpaper and everything. And I love that thing.
And you got to be careful when you're listening to people play because,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, the most beautiful guitar that I've heard here locally ever is a little black Epiphone.
Oh,
And it's not so much the guitar. Guitar's gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's the person who sings it. I'm talking about Abby Naira's Epiphone. She starts
A
playing
black
that.
one?
Dark. Maybe it wasn't black, but it's a dark.
Dark brown.
Might be.
Yeah,
But
it's a gorgeous guitar.
It's a gorgeous guitar, and she just makes this thing cry.
yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oof. Yeah. That's
well, that's like when Eddie Van Halen came out with the 5150.
mhm.
He said, you can get this guitar. It's very simple. You can get this amp. You can sound just like me. Just play it like me.
nice.
Yeah.
Even when you get the
can you play it like
yeah,
that?
when you get the brochure, when you had the brochure for the new 5150, actually had a thing where it shows exactly how Eddie sets his
the settings,
all the dials, all of his setup.
Nice.
So of course I get a 5150 combo, and I immediately set
Yeah.
it just like him, and I'm playing. That's when I really learned I'm not a lead guitar player.
Right.
You're just not Eddie Van Halen.
Exactly.
You know, there's a signature guitar for the Tom Morello has out,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a guitar that he plays. You'll never sound like Tom
Exactly.
Morello.
No.
And that's how you like, and that's what
Yeah.
the guys
That guy's just weird though.
those are the guys that you really want to follow, because those are the guys just love playing.
Oh
Because
yeah.
the one thing I remember, I got to see Eddie Van Halen live twice, and I'll tell you that there's nobody in that stadium having more fun than him.
Mhm.
Nobody. And when I got to see him in 2012, his son was on stage too,
No.
and you watch him carefully. It's like a lot of times he's Eddie Van Halen playing, then
Yeah.
you look over to his son sometimes when he was doing his thing, and he was a proud dad. You could
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
look on his face was not Eddie Van Halen. He was Wolfgang's father.
Yeah.
Dang.
That was really cool to watch, and to see how much fun that guy had. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh yeah. And that's what you get
That's cool.
with
That's
most
cool.
performers out here.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this music scene out here far and beyond better than any music scene that I've seen
Yes.
anywhere else.
Mm.
I'll put up against any big
Yes,
city.
absolutely.
I will put the music scene up here against northern New Mexico any day.
One of my favorite, Guitar Slim.
Mhm.
That guy has a blast.
Oh yeah,
He is so much fun.
that's his
He
therapy.
is so much fun.
And he's
He is great.
left-handed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but I watched him play one time, and I'm sitting there, he's playing left-handed, and I looked at it, and I was like, something's wrong. It didn't look right.
Mhm.
So I go over to him and asked him, and I said, how are you tuned? And he just smiled and went, standard tuning.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I
just, and he goes, go take a look.
yeah.
And it's flipped over.
Mhm.
And he said his brother was a jerk. He wouldn't let him three-string the guitar. He said, if you want to learn how to play, you're gonna have to play it
You gotta
this way,
play it.
because I'm not going to teach you.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to mess with my guitar. So that's how we learn to play.
Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. I
Yeah.
haven't seen him play, but
Oh,
I've heard
he is
stories
Oh,
about him.
fun.
he's a blast. He's incredibly shy.
And they don't. He'll just-
When you talk to him, but you put a guitar in his hands, and he's a
Yeah, and
totally
he's
different
he's
person.
on it.
and
Yeah.
then he's like, he decides, I'm going to take a break. Anybody else want to play?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
And he did that at Sparky's, my wife, and I just started getting together, started putting my songs together and started practicing. My wife pushed me out of the booth, and he got me up there and played.
No way, dang.
And I started playing. He got me up a second time, and I started playing Overkill because he wanted to finish his sandwich. So I started playing Overkill, and I'm playing the chord progression, and he gets up, and all of a sudden I'm about to finish the song, and he comes up and says in my ear, keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
So I keep playing the chords, and all of a sudden he starts soloing over it. And I was like,
Nice.
oh,
that's
this
cool.
is cool.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
It's
That's the kind of guys you want to see.
that's the sort of thing that'll change your outlook on music too.
Absolutely.
Not that I know from experience or anything.
No, the first time he got up, and all of a sudden, when Dwight and Red said, we'll play with you, and Jeffy said, hey, can I join you? And he had this look on his face. It's like, whoa. Well, and he came up, he had this smile. I went, now he's one of us.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
He
That's how it
sat down and
happens.
went, that felt like a rush. I
Yeah.
said, thank you.
Yes.
Somebody gets it now.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
So yeah, and that's part of why we do the show that we do.
Yeah.
With the local artists, because if you don't play anything, it doesn't matter. You need to come out and hear some of these guys, because it's amazing what our artists are doing in this area.
There's a couple at Amaro that come to every open mic
Mm-hmm.
just to hear everybody.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And they're beautiful, beautiful people, and they're always out there, and are you gonna play? Yeah, well, good, because we want to. They're like everybody's mom and dad out there.
Yeah. Oh
They're
yeah.
great. They're just great people.
That's
So
cool.
that's a lot of fun to do. So you got to get out to an open mic just to at least listen.
Oh yeah.
And get
You,
an-
you
get an
never know
idea.
what you're gonna hear. Yeah. This last open mic at tomorrow, week before last, had a band get up there that had never played anywhere but their garage. And
you told me.
I'm staring at these people. Turns out I knew the lead guitar player from way
Yeah.
back in the day.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, he's playing. They're doing instrumentals because nobody sings, and they're sitting there, and he's playing Jeff Beck. Nobody plays Jeff
Yeah.
Beck.
And when he stands up there, I keep saying he looks like a middle school science teacher.
Yeah.
No way.
He did not look like a guitar player, and he was blowing it away.
Gosh.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and he's just sitting there and he's going through these runs, and you can see he's going fast, but he's very relaxed.
But he
He's hitting
knows it.
everything
Yeah, he
perfectly.
knows
It's
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so cool to watch.
That's
So
awesome.
you never know who's going to come out. So we'll get bands out there
Yeah.
as well, and it's a blast. And it's different feel for different open mics. So like I say, Amaro is kind of my go-to place to chill and relax. Little Toad is a different feel. It's awesome though. I especially now that it's moved inside, I'm kind of digging the
Yeah, it's a different vibe when it's inside. Like
it's muddier sound in there. So when I'm playing, I feel a little more honky tonky.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
because and I'll sit there and start hitting the guitar harder, and I'll let the vocals fly, even if it's something that's like, I may just miss that note completely. It doesn't matter, because everybody's kind of listening to the overall thing, and it's a cool different thing. And once again, you never know. Your open mic at Little Toad, you get some traveling musicians that are coming through at times. And,
every now and then,
that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, and then they, they'll come up and like, so what's this open mic do? I'm like, you guys want to play? And they're like, actually, yeah, we were not here for very long, so we can open up. I'm like, perfect, let's do it. Let's get you guys going.
Just get up there and do a few, and it's been very cool. But
all right. Well, I got to get to work.
Yeah,
We're
we
over.
we went a good deal over today.
I mean, we have to do this again.
Yeah.
We have to
over. How much over?
Oh,
about 30 minutes almost.
That's how good it is.
We
So,
kind of lost track on that, but man,
thank you.
thanks for coming out.
Oh yeah, no, thank you guys. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is probably the only way you're gonna get me out of bed.
Well, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we can go all day.
I know.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Easy.
For sure.
Just topic to topic,
All right.
But
Thank
remember,
you guys.
we're getting close to the end of the year.
Yep.
So I know everybody's getting ready for Christmas. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And
have fun.
January's coming when Christmas will finally be over and we don't have to deal with this crap anymore. I mean, happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, the good times. Good stuff.
But thanks, guys. This has been a blast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, heck yeah. Thank you.
And we'll be back next
I'll
week.
bring the bourbon next time.
There we go.
All right.
Cool.
Y'all take care.